She had a dress on?
She had a dress on. I'm like, what? Oh, what's this?
Cash has been to my birthday several times. She ain't never worn no dress. She might have blessed me with some slacks.
I don't know what to say, Jay.
You know,
I do.
You
I know who
right,
I'm calling.
Tyler.
I'm gonna have a conversation with somebody this weekend about respect.
All right. Think we're ready. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody, can y'all see the stream? Should be up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks for joining us and welcome to the podcast. Follow us at Blerdimension everywhere if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you can be the first to know when we got new content for you. I'm Kavon, Negrito Suave. We also got JK, Beasternal.
Oh, what it do?
We got Creston, Not Cirque.
What's up, everybody?
AJ, Noslinger.
How's it going, y'all?
We got JD, Create Activity.
Hey.
And last but not least, we got Carl, KBH.
What's going on?
All of our pronouns are he, him, and his. And we got 3 segments on the podcast for y'all. We're going to talk about what we've been consuming this week. That means, what we've been watching, what we've been playing, everything like that. Then we're going to discuss some nerdy news. After news, we got a topic of the week to discuss. This week is this, clusterfuck that's exploded at Twitch. And after the podcast, we're going to have a quick intermission. And then we're going to play some Soul Calibur. And then we might get into some Halo. All right, so stay tuned for that. So we're going to start with what everybody been consuming this week. Who want to start?
It's been new anime week, right? So, everything.
Fall season just started.
Say again. New season. October new season started. And it's just a fire season. Definitely there have been some continuations on previous series. So, you got Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? That's getting its season 5. All in all, anime. I mean, fan service out the woos off for that one for sure. But, the fight scenes are pretty good. Story's decent. If they're not too focused on fan service, story, is pretty decent. Fire Force is getting a continuation, which is good. Continuations, you can see those anywhere. The new stuff, though. Burn the Witch, fantastic. Combat, amazing. Story, still trying to understand it myself. The world building is amazing. One of the things I am hearing, though, I've read the first issue of the manga. I need to pick up the rest. But the manga definitely helps to lay some more, some boundaries down. Because it follows the manga pretty well for the most part, with some, creative liberties. What is the word? Say again.
Liberties.
Yeah, creative liberties that they do allow. But all in all, absolutely love it. Love the character design. Love the way the world feels. I'm very excited for this. I know for a fact they've already been slated for, at least 2 more seasons, so a total of 3 Burn the Witch seasons. This one's going to be 12 episodes long. But, it's getting back to those old shonen roots, which I do enjoy. What else? I'm going to butcher its name, but hold on. The one I'm most excited for is Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm probably killing that damn name, but it is a anime all about basically demon possession and whatnot. Think Blue Exorcist, but more hand-to-hand combat, not so much weaponry. And so it's fantastic. The manga was amazing. I did read through the first series of it. I do need to read the rest. I think there's 10 out. But I've been looking forward to the anime for a while now. And I mean, the fight scenes are amazing. The hand-to-hand combat feels real. And I have to say that, besides the throwaway animes that you get, in every season, they have been escalating the fights up and up and up and up in the past few seasons. At least this year, especially, it feels like, the punches have more depth. Definitely, God of High School set the standard more ways than one in this season as far as, animated combat scenes. but normally, your typical action anime, it's more fire or energy blast than hand to hand. But I really enjoy the fact that they've gone back to more of a traditional martial arts sense in these most recent seasons, because it just makes it more enjoyable to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, I every single time I still hear the Kamehameha build up, my the inner boy in me screams a little bit. But
that's the
getting
reason
actually to like the
you do
real
manga.
fights, like the hand to hand and the punches, it's just amazing. But that's been my week. It's just I've been consuming the new stuff. There's a few more, nothing worth really truly mentioning. But those are the two ones have been standouts of this new season release. Actually, no, there's a third one. Another webtoon adaptation, Noblesse. And this one, I have read the webtoon all the way through. There's like 553 chapters. Fantastic story. I'm looking forward to the combat in this as well. This one's more on like the energy blast type of combat level, at least based off of the way the webtoon works. But Noblesse is supposed to be pretty good. The story in the webtoon is fantastic, so I look forward to it. I love the fact that Crunchyroll has been making originals with webtoon, and because webtoon has tons of fantastic manga on there. Or not manga because it's not
Web
it's not
comics,
Japanese.
but same.
Yeah,
Yeah. Same style.
So stories.
Right.
Exactly. I'll say they have fantastic stories, and I look forward to seeing every single one of them brought to life in anime form. And they've hit the major three. God of High School, Tower of God, and Noblesse. Those are the major three from webtoons. One of the things I'd love to see them do is Hardcore Gaming Warrior. We'll see. But those are I'm glad to see that one in the season.
Isn't there like a Noblesse short on YouTube, like the webtoon YouTube?
There's an OVA that was released I think 2 or 3 years ago,
and it kind of happens before the first episode that's out on Crunchyroll, I believe.
Yep.
So
yeah.
If anybody
actually that starts from where the OVA ended.
Right. So I'd recommend watching the OVA first. Anybody wants to check it out?
Yes. Yeah, if you have not seen or read the webtoon, I would highly recommend watching the OVA first. Yes. But that's my week, guys.
Cool.
I can go next. Pretty similar list to Tech. So I was watching Burn the Witch, which I thought was fantastic. And everything except for a story, just because I don't know what's going on, I have no idea. But everything else seemed good. The animation was nice. I like the characters. They seemed kind of like interesting and for different reasons, right? And just I don't know. It was very compelling. So I was really a good fan of that. Yashahime, which is Inuyasha spinoff. Started watching that as well. So it's just I'm an Inuyasha fan, so I don't know necessarily if that's gonna be a good anime. It's animation wise, it's so, but I did like the original story, so I'm gonna follow this one through. I watched Noblesse as well. Like I said, the OVA is kind of like a good place to start if anybody wants to check it out. And I think for me that's about it.
Cool.
I can go next. So it's Halloween, as you can see in the back. I got the demon lights on right now.
Nobody likes that. Nobody here likes that.
Tech, you appreciate that, right? You my fellow horror fan.
Sorry, I had to drop because I was having terrible lag. What were we talking about?
I was just talking about my demon setup in the back, with the red lights and
it's
being
fantastic.
that Halloween spirit,
Speaking of the Halloween spirit, I did watch I think it's Us, the other Jordan Peele one.
Oh, how'd you like it?
Fantastic. I loved it. It was great. And at first, my wife started watching it with me because she wanted to try. Because my wife doesn't do scary movies and stuff like that. And so we got to like midway, like I guess like before like the first little like doppelganger popped up, and my wife was just like, "Nope, I'm gone. I'm going to bed." And so, so I just kind of sat down there and watched the rest of it by myself. Um, and then cue Nightmare on Elm Street afterwards, just for the nostalgia effect of it all. That movie still gives me the fucking creeps, even as a grown ass man. Going to sleep that night, I did an extra little prayer, cross the heart, dot the eyes, and all that. Ain't nobody got time for Freddy to be popping up in their dreams and cutting me up and whatnot. I always thought that was the most terrifying thing as a child because I
Well,
never
if
really
you're gonna do
understood.
all that, maybe it's not a movie to watch.
It's a movie to watch because it's a fantastic movie.
Reason into this. Reason, Kev? Is that what you trying to hit him with? Reason? He's already watching a movie that's scaring him half to death. The reason never existed.
Hey, that's part of the thrill. It's
That-
getting,
It is.
getting scared.
It is, yes.
Part of
Yeah,
the thrill.
right. That's my point, Kev. You see what I'm talking about? Where's the reason?
Yeah, that was my mistake. I knew what I was getting into.
It was foolish. I'm disappointed in you, to be honest.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, because I was dying for an anime that had like Halloween type vibes, I started watching like bits and pieces of Castlevania again, and
I
gosh,
need to go back
man,
and watch that again.
it's fantastic. Like I forgot how good season 1 was. Just all the blood, the gore, the demons getting ripped in half, the demons eating people in half.
I have not
Fantastic.
seen any of Castlevania.
And then also,
first couple episodes, just right to it. Boom.
Right to it. Amazing. Another one that they're doing in the Castlevania type style. What was it, Beast? It was called
Dragon Dogma?
No, not Dragon of Dogma.
JK.
What is it? Blood of Zeus is what's dropping at the end of this month. I am so hyped for that. Like that looks fantastic. From Castlevania are on that project, so I'm looking forward to it.
There's another one.
I'm glad it's on Netflix. Like,
Yeah.
That's just a better viewing experience than
Agreed.
Crunchyroll or Verve.
That's true.
Better viewing experience for sure. But I would never want you Netflix, at least because Netflix in Japan, all anime releases there because Crunchyroll in Japan does not work the way it does in the States. So Netflix is basically has all of the anime for Japan. Like if you hop on your VPN, but that's the only bad thing is just that it's always in Japanese. They don't do English subs there. So that's kind of why Crunchyroll is most beneficial because they release it with the subs.
Maybe this is an offline topic, but I never get my VPN to do those magical things I want it to do. I'm paying money.
Which VPN do you use?
Which one? I use Nord.
I mean, I might have Nord as well.
Really?
I use Express VPN.
I need to see how you have yours set up, man.
I use private internet access.
Huh.
Yeah, so I'm doing something wrong, but we could talk about it.
Yeah. So what else?
So in terms of watching, I binged this horror series on Netflix called The Haunting on House Hill. And there's 10 episodes, about an hour each of just terror. It was really good. Really good ghost stories.
It just said
very
antonyms.
creepy.
I don't know if you heard yourself. You said nothing but horror, and then you said it was really good, and I don't understand how you can.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the thrill, man. That's why people eat spicy food, right?
No,
I eat spicy food.
That's why you can't eat spicy food.
That's called flavor. That's called flavor.
Yeah, it's just flavor.
That's why you can't eat spicy
Horror
food.
is flavor.
Nah, I disagree.
But yeah, I would say it's probably like this. It was on par with like horror movies in terms of like constant scares and tension, and there's some scenes in there that was some of the scariest imagery I've seen in a while. Yeah, so it was really good.
Who are you trying to sell this to?
The viewers out there, viewers
Okay,
appreciate.
okay.
Viewers
I was gonna-
appreciate
I'm
my.
sold. I might watch tonight. To be honest, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's really good. It's
He's like,
done really
he
well.
said some of the scariest images he's ever seen.
Right.
Yeah, as far as like
He was like, "Don't you want to see that?"
oh yeah,
No.
oh yeah.
The answer is no.
Oh, and they're coming out with a sequel. I think next week. It's a new season they coming out with, but it's based on a whole different story, but it's the same people that made it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
To balance out the scariness, I've been watching the Happily Ever After, 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. My man Muhammad, man. That dude has no shame. Like everybody was
zero.
going after him, and he still was just like, "Nope, I do not like her. She smells. She
Yep.
is dirty." I was just like, "Duh."
That
He
shit was
just
crazy.
What is it from Africa? Dude from Africa?
from Tunisia.
Yeah.
Tunisia?
But yeah, he has no shame, and he's just like
Yeah,
it's
standards.
blatant.
It's like,
I
hey,
mean, it's just blatant that he's just there for the
Yeah.
visa.
yeah.
Straight
But
scary.
yeah, extreme.
What's the
But
birthplace?
he stayed like getting girls though. Like every city he's moved into afterwards, he got like a new joint. So
That shit
you
crazy.
know, it's wild.
It's the accent,
Uh,
bro.
I guess so. No, I know what it really is. It's the TV, like them, the people being able to be on TV.
That's true too.
But so I've been watching that with my girlfriend. Game wise, been playing uh The Evil Within. Played that for the stream for DC Gaming Group the other night. That shit, it took me a while to get the controls on that joint is super clunky, super clunky. Like it's made by the same dude that made Resident Evil 4. Um, and so a lot of the tropes that were used in Resident Evil 4 are in The Evil Within, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just keeping in mind that the game was, I think it came out in like 2012, 2013, so it's an old game, but still, like once I got past like the controls and started moving forward a bit, shit started opening up. I took some highlights of a couple boss fights that I had to face in there. It's it's really good. It's they got some crazy monsters in there. So hopefully I'll be able to finish that before the month is out.
Nope.
What else? What else have I been playing? Playing a little bit of Halo here and there.
Go ahead and tell him about Soul Calibur.
Oh no, I mean that's it's just a little
No, I want you to tell the public. Tell the public.
little training sesh. I ran through all my my main characters on there just to kind of sharpen the blade a little bit for tonight. So
Thought we had a gentleman's agreement that nobody would play that game except for on Thursdays, but
I mean
I should mix it up and just do random for characters.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down for that.
That might be something.
sure.
So Breezy asks if y'all
I'm not
wanna
down
watch
for
Ghost
that.
Hunt.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm not down for this whole random bullshit of character selection. I have a character.
Yo.
I'm gonna play that character.
Who's your character? Tech?
I'm not down for this shit. B2. I'm not 2B. Sorry. I'm not down for
You
this.
got the DLC already?
Huh?
You got the DLC?
No, I bought just her because she's fantastic and I love the game. So yeah.
There's
Yeah,
characters
the
to be
Automata
purchased.
is good.
I didn't know there's characters to be purchased. I
Yeah,
thought
Yeah,
you had
there's like 2 seasons. There's like 6 characters, I think, 6 DLC characters, if I'm not mistaken.
How much does that cost?
a lot. Too much.
Alright.
Yeah.
I like
It's
what
like-
I got.
It's like for
It was $5 for this one, then like a
yeah,
level.
$5 per character, right? So
Five
it's like
per?
yeah,
What's the bundle cost though?
it's pretty much half a game to buy 6 characters.
I
That's
was
you
debating
get
that. I was
them
like,
by playing the story?
nah.
Nah, these
Damn.
videos.
That's done and over with. That's not enough.
That's not how this
is
goes.
over, man.
Saturday.
That was back
Um,
when people just wanted you to buy games and not like, when they didn't realize they could sell you the same game over and over and over again forever.
oh yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. A lot of
Okay.
scary shit, which is good.
Nah.
It's Halloween season.
It's not a Halloween season. Halloween's a day, and it's not even a holiday.
Tell this man,
It is
Carl.
a whole month
What you
of
been
This
consuming,
goodness.
Carl?
this has definitely been a slow content week for me. Like,
Word.
I did catch Fire Force on Friday, but that's about it. Like, I didn't see no God of High School. Did not see the new Black Clover. Um, I forced myself to watch Lovecraft Country yesterday because I like not forced because it sucked, but because I just had a really long day, and I ended up going to bed like after 4. I'm like, no, I'm watching it. So I started watching it like almost 3 o'clock. Um, and Lovecraft Country was good again. Um, I'm I'm curious.
Hell.
I'm curious where all these pieces are coming together. So secrets out between Ruby and Letty.
Yep.
Letty got her armor. Uh, you know, our South Korean homegirl is in town.
Right.
Succubus. The succubus.
Kumiho.
Which
I,
I find
I,
it
I,
interesting.
that's just not a word I appreciate. I don't know why. It just makes me feel some type of way. I don't want to say that, but
Which I find
uh,
it interesting that Lady got mad that he was with her while over in Korea. Didn't tell her. Like, who
no,
gonna
he
bring that
told
up?
her. First of all, he did tell her. That was a few episodes ago. She asked him like, "Oh, were you in love?" And he's
But
like,
he
"I
didn't
don't
tell her
know."
what she was because he didn't believe it. And she got mad that she didn't tell him what she was.
I
And I'm
think
like,
she was
oh,
more.
go ahead.
I think she was my bad. Not to interrupt you. I think she was more so mad not because he didn't say, "Oh, I was in love with her," but because he didn't disclose like anything. He was like, "Oh, it ended weird," and it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, did you
Well,
ghost her?
she didn't push the envelope. Like okay, cool. It ended weird. Okay. Like what
I mean, she's supposed to
you
press
gonna
the
No,
get
nigga
mad?
out? Like,
You
nah, nah,
gonna
nah,
get
nah, nah,
mad?
nigga, you gonna tell me right now? Like,
You
first
gonna
what?
of
get
all,
mad? You like, okay, weird. Weird. What do you mean by weird? What happened? Like that's all you had to say. Nah, she gonna get
Day
mad when she
Uno,
comes to the doorstep trying to
Day
warn the
Uno
dude like,
said,
hey, you gonna die. Don't know how, but you gonna die. I told you gonna die. And now she get mad. I'm like, and she trying to get. I'm like, you got
"Look,
mad over him trying
this,
to protect you.
nah." So see, that's exactly how I know you're not married right there. That's how I know you're not married. You say stuff like that. All right, so I get it. Day Uno, you're not gonna be like, yeah, man, all these tales almost killed me. It was crazy. You probably gonna keep that to yourself. You don't know if you believe it yet. I got
Hmm.
that. But you've had beasts with eyeballs all over its body try to eat you, and you've traveled to another dimension. You have you've seen your ancestor in a vision, in a living awakened vision. You've
He
seen
died.
all kinds of crazy crap, and you've shared this experience with a few friends and relatives. She being one of them. Uh, so yeah, you might want to elaborate a little bit more. Maybe not at the beginning, but now, given all that's happened, um, you went as far as to say that she told you you're gonna die. You, you need to say a little bit more. And I could understand the desire to protect, I've had that desire before, trying to anticipate, trying to whatever. You're always going to catch an L with that with your significant other. It's just is what it is. So for people that are
Always.
aspiring to get married, just keep that in mind.
Tell your
Don't pull it
wife
off. That's an argument waiting to happen.
like
Everything.
succubus and demons and gotcha.
Yes,
Every damn
yes,
If
thing.
I ever
yes,
come into
yes.
contact, that's
Hold
gonna
up.
be pretty easy.
What was that?
If it
What was that
deals with your
advice?
body.
The advice was
Don't-
tell your wife everything. Because if she
Everything.
got to
well,
find out from the Kumiho,
If you
your ass
breathe,
gonna be in trouble.
yep.
well,
If you breathe differently, you should just probably tell her. Just
Yeah.
for safety
Just
go
measures.
ahead and
like,
mention that.
you
But the
know,
Listen,
main
honey,
thing
today
is
I
I
had
was
a couple
breathing a
ragged
little
breaths
weird. It was
last
like
night.
a,
I don't.
it was a little hiccup. I was like, oh.
That sounds about right. Like that sounds
but if
about
you
right.
have the inclination to protect, and your way of protecting is by concealing any
Not,
sort of
yep.
information,
Yep.
that's the
You're
wrong
only
move.
protecting your own ass for a permanent, like for a very short
That is a
period of
good point.
time.
I ran into that exact situation not too
Everybody
long
does
ago.
it. Everybody does it. The sooner you learn it,
You
the
live and you
better.
learn. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
last week.
Ah!
Well, you still here, so I assume you learn.
He
It
was
was
in the
rough,
doghouse
but I
for a
made
bit.
it. Yeah, that was definitely a mess.
Those are rough, man.
Yeah.
They're tough to deal with. They're tough to deal with.
Growing pains right there.
So, but I appreciate that because that's legit stuff, right? That's not in that thing. So anyway, all these people are gathering for what? So the book tells him he's gonna die, kind of hints at how he might die. There's a lot building. So this was episode 8, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case, then we got 2
2
more.
episodes.
And
Yep.
if we had, it's just, I felt like there've been no filler episodes. So I can't imagine what that episode 10 is like. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, and that's pretty much it. I've played Halo a couple times, try to stay
Trying
sharp.
to sharpen them skills.
I've been trash all week, so I don't have a lot of hope for that.
Why you gonna say
I,
something like that, bro?
I've been super trash. It kind of hurt my heart a little bit. I'm like, dang, dude, I'm trying to unwind, trying to just, nah, wasn't having it. I just think like people are extra elite. That's got to be what it is. I
Yeah,
can't.
all the
I
good
refuse
people
to
are
believe I
playing this week.
regressed
All the
that
good people
much.
were playing this week, Carl. Don't let that get you down.
That's clearly what it is.
They really are.
It was all the pro gamers getting ready for some tournament somewhere that nobody knows about.
Some of them be
Gotta
playing
be.
the bed.
Like sometimes I
Or
get on there and it's like, bro, like these are not the niggas I
They're
played last week. This
They're
is
no,
not.
they're bending bullets like wanted on here. The bullets coming around corners.
for
I
real.
don't
No
like.
bullshit.
I don't like break dancers, man. People like doing a little crouch, thrust to the side, and then I'm like, no, dude. I'm doing this. Look, I got an Elite 2 out here. I'm hitting the joysticks. I'm not moving like that. Bro, they're cheating.
We all know that there
Clearly.
are some people out there that cheat. We have at least one resident cheater who we
No.
appreciate.
Man.
Not,
Absolutely.
not sir.
Hey, you need
Shake my head.
Wow.
water.
How's my mic right now? Is that a little better?
It's still kind of muffled.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
It's a little muffled.
Yeah, I mean we can hear you and we can tell what you're saying, but it's still a little bit muffled.
Okay.
You might just be
Uh,
a little too close for it. That might be it.
let me turn it down. But yeah, no, just get better.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn.
Man said
Wow.
get good. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
That's his words of advice. Listen, I've asked multiple times now for your cheat software. So
Yeah,
if you don't want
that's
to
what I'm
admit that
saying.
it's real,
No,
Terrible.
I've watched your stream. I know you cheat.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Preston moonwalking when he's playing Halo. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. This is
No
Harlem
bullshit.
Shake
Make
over there.
sense.
It just shoulders, everything moving.
Lord. So that's it for you, Carl. This week.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you go already, JK?
I didn't.
All right.
I
What you been
was
consuming this week?
No, I'm joking. Let's see what I've been consuming. So I've been watching some Hulu like shows. Like one of them was called Bite Size Halloween. It's like mini like Halloween episodes on Hulu. I've been watching Monsterland. It's not really scary. It's like interesting stories. It's kind of like Black Mirror in a sense, but for like Halloween type stuff, so to speak.
This month be
I'm gonna
over.
check
Because
out.
Like
nobody
what I'm hearing.
cares
I like
about
what I'm hearing.
Halloween.
What'd you say, Carl?
When will this month be over? Nobody cares about Halloween. That's trash. Thanksgiving, I thought was the lamest holiday, but they're trying to make Halloween a holiday, which then it will take the place of Thanksgiving.
Damn.
Well,
Halloween is amazing. I don't know how you were deprived growing up with this wonderful holiday.
Holiday. Look, I need to take out. I need to get off work. I don't get off work at no holiday.
Need to get some paid leave.
Exactly.
Hey, it's gonna happen. I mean, we already got the devil in office. So I mean, what about just making it? He'll just, he'll make that his
if
President's
if
Day.
if you suggested it to him, I don't think he'd turn it down. I think he'd probably retweet you. You should
He'll
probably
just call
tweet
it.
that
He'll
to
call
him.
it Trumpoween.
Right, no bullshit.
Yeah, well, he has to put his name on it, of course.
Of
Yeah.
course. How else would he get credit?
And
um,
yeah, right.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna continue because I'm just hearing dumb shit right now.
Definitely. What's
You brought up
what
Halloween.
else?
It's your
Um,
fault.
I've also watched the show called Utopia on Prime Video. It's actually really good. Um, what else been watching? I haven't caught. I've been watching Once Upon a Time, but I had stopped watching to watch other stuff. Definitely been watching the Noblesse, Burn the Witch, and Jutsu Kaisen. Um, First off, what Tet was saying about that show, he didn't mention that, like, yeah, there's possession and shit, but the way the dude gets possessed is the most random, like, possession I ever seen in my life. Like, I like this, like, you just have to watch it to find out what I'm talking about. And once you watch it, you'll be like, oh, okay, all right, that's new, that's new.
Is
Um,
he like eating a bowl of cereal or something and just like
Right.
shudders and it's like
Pretty much,
okay, wow.
pretty much,
That was
pretty much.
Wasn't expecting that.
yeah, I was definitely trying to be wrong.
Burn the Witch was just all over the place. But it was funny as shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm
It was funny. Um, what else I've been playing. Been playing and training myself on this new Elite 2 controller. Um,
Oh shoot.
um, I would say my Call of Duty game has been superb lately. Um,
Are you giving credit to the Elite controller?
I'm getting credit to where I can customize my shit and not have to worry about clicking buttons all
I'm
that
about to
much.
send mine back if you're telling me that it makes you
You
better.
just need better hands.
Oh
That's
shit.
probably what it is. Do they, when do they come out with those with the second version of hands?
In about 2,000 years, probably when we
Uh,
evolutionize to the next step, next stage.
look, look,
Shit, we're not gonna be on
that's
this
what I need
planet.
when they come.
Oh,
I
boy.
mean, Xbox travel, Kristen. I don't need to be here.
XCloud, baby. XCloud.
X Cloud, right,
So
right.
that's
Like a
X
satellite.
Nebula.
Gonna have like a
It'll have to be
satellite
X
following.
Nebula to follow
the
us into
next
space.
version. Lord.
I'm gonna play this game called West Dead or West Grave Dead or something like shit. It's a Game Pass game, for Blur or for DCGG when I stream on Saturday. Play that instead of Sunset Overdrive.
Is Sunset on Game Pass?
It is.
Hmm.
I think I want to try that out. Yeah.
It's
It's
fun
actually
as
pretty
hell.
fun. It's actually pretty fun.
It's the
Um,
main reason why Insomniac was able to do Spider-Man.
Yep.
That was a good proof of concept.
Yeah, because the way the same exact like the way how he jumps and hops and stuff is the same motion that they did for Spider-Man, and it runs so smoothly that it works very well, like Crescent said. Uh, Also downloaded a couple other games from Game Pass. We're playing Killer Instinct earlier.
Oh yeah, that needs to be put in our rotation. A
Oh yeah,
beat down rotation.
oh yeah.
I can absolutely not play that game. I suck so bad at that game.
It's a game, so I'm pretty trash.
I give it a shot. I haven't
Thinking
played
about
Naruto in a
getting
long time.
Squadrons. I was thinking about getting
What is
Squadrons.
it?
What, Star Wars?
Killer
Squadrons?
Instinct. Oh yeah.
Killer Instinct.
Oh, Killer Instinct. Yeah. You never played Killer
What is
Instinct?
that?
It's
No.
like Mortal Kombat, but not Mortal Kombat.
It's like the Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
But
it
you
was.
know that like combo breaker.
It
You heard
was
that
like
Where that
before?
shit come from?
No.
it's
Boy,
like
what?
Czech Cola to
Hey,
Coca
where you
Cola.
playing?
Like Mortal Kombat,
How old are
Coca
you?
Cola, Killer
Hey,
Instinct.
all
25.
judgment.
25.
He is young.
Is he old? No, damn that. That's in his age range. God damn it.
No, not really.
Yeah,
Nah,
not
it's
really, because I
25.
played that when I was young.
Yeah, I was like, shoot, my little sister is 25, or she'll be 25, and she was like 3 when I was playing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could miss that entire game. I told you it's the Czech Cola compared to Coca Cola. So like, Mortal Kombat is Coca Cola, and
You played Mortal
Killer
Kombat
Instinct
though,
is Czech.
right,
Yeah, I
Tech?
played Mortal Kombat before.
Yeah, Killer Instinct was like a small window in there. It
So he
was
made
real small.
friends
Yeah,
to
it
play
wasn't as
Super
popular.
Nintendo with, so it's all right. It's okay.
I think it died after N64, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he probably didn't have anybody who had.
Tech was just born when the
He was
N64
just
came out.
born when it's
Oh,
just
shit.
Like that was his birth year.
Gee.
What else I've been watching?
Facts.
When,
No, I've never heard of Killer Instinct before. Very
okay.
cool.
You know,
I
we'll
just
let
saw
that
it
slide
though.
for you.
Yeah.
We'll let that slide for you. You know, AJ hasn't watched a lot of movies, so we'll let it slide.
Wait a minute, what? You don't have to bring that up. We weren't
Look
even
at
we weren't even talking about
Yeah,
me.
put your
right. Opening up old wounds and
AJ hasn't
shit.
Right.
watched a lot of movies. He hasn't
I
watched
just
a lot
said a
of
lot
movies.
of movies. I didn't say what type. Don't put yourself on blast.
I'm not going to. But we already see. Look, there's some people who are your friends, and there's some people who are your enemies right in front of your face. You know, I respect that. I respect
Right
that.
in front of your face.
Right in front of my face. You
Feeling
could be doing this
mutual.
behind my back.
The
No, it's
feeling
not.
mutual.
I
This
treat
is
you
it.
kindly. What this
That's
is,
a
You
I don't
damn
like
lie.
expected
Hold on,
respect.
time out. That's a damn lie. First off,
look,
anytime I even mention your family or anything like that, you be like, JK, you are not my friend ever. Like, you are not my friend. I put you over here. I don't associate with you. And then when I
that's
say,
not
okay, you're not hanging
that
with
is
That's
us.
not
not
what he says.
that is not what I said. What I said
He
is
That's
said
not what he
friends
said
are over
here.
here,
differences.
Time
family
out.
is over here.
And
That's
the
not what
two
he
should never
said
meet.
here. But when I was in Tallahassee, that's exactly what he said.
Damn.
That's exactly. I
JK
got
Damn.
proof.
JK would just show up at family functions without my permission.
Oh, time out. I didn't show up at family functions. I was invited. Didn't know it was his family until I
No.
got there. And then when he just
You
randomly
he
showed
was
up.
like at
I
my
was like,
uncle's birthday party. He had never met my uncle before. He was just there. I show up
I
and I'm
was,
like, JK, what are you doing here? He's like,
I was
what is
like, me?
going
What are you doing here? He's like, Nelson?
on?
Nelson? I was
So
like,
they told JK
oh,
that
shit.
you might know my brother. My sister was like, you might know my brother. He's AJ. He's in the same department as you. And JK's like, I don't know her AJ. I don't think I know her AJ.
I sure did say that. I sure did say that. I
He
was
had
like,
he had seen
I
me
was like,
that day.
and he's probably like the weird one, like sitting in the corner, like drawing shit. Oh, that AJ.
No,
Yeah,
you didn't say,
AJ.
oh, that AJ till I showed up. And then he was like, that AJ. The only one you know. Yes, that one.
that one. That's not the only one I know. I know other AJs. Thank you very much.
Well, you didn't know you didn't know any of them at that moment when they were asking you.
I didn't know it. I drew a blank. I'm not gonna lie. the food was getting to me. I drew blank. I was like, shit. Red Robin's here. This, I was ready to eat. I'm sorry, but
And that is why I like my boxes separate. That's why.
Next thing you know,
anyway,
JK show up at your uncle's birthday
Had
party
my
eating
uncle's
Red
birthday
Robin. All right.
just
Classic.
randomly.
the person who invited me. Nah, I'm not gonna say that. But
It's
anyway,
in the chat. Yeah, you can say it. Everybody knows
you
So
can say
Breezy.
it? Oh, I can say it. Okay, yeah, she's in the chat. Yes,
And my
yes,
sister and JK.
yes.
She probably met him around the same time I did, independently of meeting him.
No,
True.
actually, I met you before I met her.
Okay. Yeah, it was close though.
I met her in Kung Nu. I
Yeah.
knew you a year, 2 years before.
Okay.
So, but to finish my wrap up,
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting caught Black Cold War. And Agent, don't you start.
Okay. I was going to.
Don't
You're
you
very
start.
smart.
I was thinking about getting Cold War for PlayStation, but I was like, nah, I'll just wait till it get on PC.
True.
Or Xbox. I was gonna get on Xbox so I can get the upgraded version and get it for Xbox Series X. Um, what else? Oh, I've been playing Brutal Legends on my Xbox. I got that through Game Pass. I've been wanting to play that game since Xbox 360,
Mm.
and I never played it. And so when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's about that time." So, because it's so anybody know what Brutal Legends is? It's a Jack Black game, basically about rock and roll, and it's kind of like that trope of God of War trope type game where it's hack and slash and using combo, you can stuff. But it's a different type. It's a different type of game. It's pretty interesting, pretty fun. Um, so yeah, so I've been playing that, and um, of course I watched Raised by Wolves, Lovecraft, which if you haven't seen the last episode and the last bit of that episode, that shit was fire. I don't care nobody say that was the best. The two of the best parts was um the vampire showing up and the two little demon girls.
What vampire?
That's what. So remember in the first episode, that's what his uncle called them vampires. Was wasn't referring back to Lovecraft countries. Um,
Are you talking about those creatures with the eyes?
yeah.
Get the
You're
fuck out.
saying that those are vampires.
Well, remember when the sheriff got bit, he started turning to one.
Oh, you talking about the
Yes.
Shogun?
Yeah, the ones with all the eyes all over them, the little
Yeah.
creatures.
Yeah.
So, if you
That shit was
remember
crazy.
in the first episode, the uncle said, "Do you remember that book? How Lovecraft explained the sound of what vampires sound like?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Listen," and he heard the noise. He's like, "Oh shit!" And then he's like, "Yeah." So that's what he called them, vampires.
Hmm.
It wasn't the traditional vampire like people know it, but that's what he said. Like vampires, because they only came out at night. They couldn't see. They were like bats. They sounded like bats, and
Man, they couldn't
so
stand the
Oh.
light.
yeah, they couldn't stand the light. And every time they bit somebody, they turned. So
True. If they didn't
yeah,
die.
yeah. If they didn't die, yeah. If they didn't get decapitated or impaled by their damn tail and shit, I was like, I don't. First off, that whole scene was dope. I just saw people get murdered, get thrown across.
Hey.
That wasn't even the scariest part though. That's the crazy
No,
part about it.
that was the action part. The
Yeah.
scariest part was those damn two
Right.
demons.
Yeah.
Chasing D everywhere. Oh my.
Yeah, I
Oh.
was like, uh-uh. She's like, you don't see them, and she just turned around. Like in the book freaked me out. Like
The book definitely got me.
that book got me. I was like, oh fuck, what's wrong with her face? And I was like, I
Right.
thought that was what she was gonna turn into, and then I was like, oh, so she didn't getting chased by demons. All right, got you.
Yeah,
And
this sounds great, guys.
oh yeah,
It's a good show.
it's a good
Sounds
show.
great. Oh, it sounds
It's a
great.
great.
It
It's a good show, AJ. I think you will like it. I think you will like it. But I'm excited about next episode
Yeah.
to see how
Tua
Letty's power, like Letty's invulnerability, and how
seems
so you
like
already
some
know.
of it got imbued into the child somehow.
Yes, yes, and
Probably.
so
Like
yes,
they share
and
a body right now.
also too, you already know what's gonna happen next episode. They're gonna travel back in time to the same spot to get the book.
You think?
Book of
And that book and
Names.
the woman like leaving the area, his great grandmother or whatever, his mom or whatever, she's gonna give them the book. It's gonna be a loop. It's gonna be a time loop. I
I mean,
guarantee
how
it.
they gonna get there? He gave away the key to the machine.
He gave the key to her.
Christina.
Yes,
But
and
he's
so
gonna have to fix it.
she's gonna force them to, in order to heal D. She's like, well, you got to do me a favor, and she's gonna force them to go back in time and get the book.
Why wouldn't she just go and get it herself?
Probably because she don't know how to work the machine.
Shit, neither do Tick. Hippolyta fixed the machine.
Yeah, but I think Hepeline's gonna help him with
She ain't there.
The Lovecraft Country book, the
Oh, the book.
book.
Maybe.
And
You
so
know, maybe it's possible.
I'm just predicting at this point. I just love predicting shit
Kev
because it
ain't
makes it
feeling it.
fun. So you know,
Kev has his own direction for where everything's going.
I don't. You know,
I'm just
I'm gonna be honest. I
All I
don't.
know is it's gonna be one of these. He wakes up and it was all a dream. That's all I gotta say.
Bro, if they do that, I'm gonna be
I would
mad.
burn
if
everything
you do
down.
that,
Yeah,
I'm gonna find out where you is. I'm gonna come rip
But
off all those posters. I'm like, why you do that to me, bro?
yeah, nah, that shit ain't cool. Fuck out of here.
That's
That would
when
be
you
such a
shank
terrible.
somebody by looking them in the eye and just lay your dude out.
Facts.
Like,
No,
how
that
dare
Oh,
you?
ain't.
another thing. There's another anime on called Invincible coming out. Um, it's on
based on
Prime.
a based on a book,
Yeah, it's
a
based
Mm.
on
comic
the
book.
comic book.
Oh,
Right.
It looked
real
pretty dope.
real quick.
One of
Is
the
Demon
best
Slayer
comic
coming out?
books is Demon Slayer.
Is that coming out this season or is that not?
It
I
was
think
3 years.
Not this season. No, we're getting a movie this season.
Yeah, the movie,
yeah,
but
Yeah,
isn't that kind of like a continuation of the story?
yeah. It's supposed to be
yeah.
like
It's gonna be a continuation of the story, but yeah,
It's supposed to be the train when he
the
get on the
demon
train.
train. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then they're gonna start out with
That's
the
gonna be
new.
fantastic.
It's gonna be the new season. So
Yeah,
Alrighty.
but Invincible is a amazing comic book that when did it come out? 2012? No, maybe earlier than that.
for the listener, it looked like
I
2010.
can't. Yeah, it might have been 2010, but for whatever fucking reason, Prime got it. But you know, I'm happy. Not really. I think I've made my complaints in regards to Amazon Prime here and like their whole streaming video bullshit. It's all awful. So I just hope it doesn't get lost in the weeds, and how they normally do with the cartoons they produce or cartoon/anime. This is more of a cartoon than an anime. It is because it's not. No Japanese studio is attached to this. The same people who work on um, some of the same studios that do the most recent like Justice League cartoon remake movies. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen those. They're working on this project as well. Fantastic animators. The cartoon's going to be amazing. But all in all, I just don't approve of Amazon having it. But it's you know, as long as it's made, that's all I care about. You know, they did a great job with the boys, but all in all, it's like the only successful story they have, in my
Well,
opinion.
Utopia was
Like
good. Utopia was
they
good.
have a few offshoots, but like they're good in
Upload.
some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Upload's
Say
good.
again.
Upload.
Upload was good.
good.
I
Yeah,
love Upload.
Upload was good. And I
I
will
didn't even
say,
finish it to be honest. I stopped on like episode I think 6, and then I just got bored.
I love
really,
Upload.
that's when
But
this
I'm a
shit
comedy
heat
person,
up.
so that might be it. I love Upload.
Upload was good, but I will say, Amazon does do a great job with Twitch Prime and getting their affiliates going. So you know,
They do. hmm Don't you guys agree?
I agree with that.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Before
Yes,
we,
yes.
trash
Okay.
them for the topic of the week.
Great.
You
So trash.
I want y'all to pay me, Amazon. but I just don't want you to touch my anime personally. I rather you leave that to Netflix, Crunchyroll, shit. Even
But they have some,
Funimation has a better track record than you do.
they have some good ones
So
on Prime though.
pay my friends and I, but just don't touch our anime. Like like Bezos. I know you watch it. Like we talk about you all the time. I know you're secretly watching. Just pay us, but don't touch anime. That's all I ask.
What
Don't
does a
touch
person
anime.
like Bezos watch?
Blerdimension is definitely on his list.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
agree.
definitely. Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, definitely.
6 black guys talking about nerdy stuff. Oh, I know he eats this
That's
stuff
right up
up.
his alley. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely.
it's right up his alley.
What were you about to say, Carl? Real quick before I
Oh, nothing.
Oh, all right. All right. So this week for me, I wrapped up the season 2 finale of Succession, which is like a whole bunch of like wild, rich white nonsense. Which is hilarious in a way because like I'm so disconnected from it. It's like wow, this is so terrible, but it's like
Totally different world.
bruh, oh my, I was like, what type of. This is why white people are not okay. And this is why rich people are not human. Like, you can do anything to anybody at any time, and it does not matter. You can just throw your weight around, and it's like it never happened. And it's
Yeah.
like, this shit is crazy. It's like,
It's like pixie dust. It's like
that's it,
like
just
money is just like pixie dust. It's
little,
like
Oh
like Salt
shit.
Bay with the money, just sprinkle a little.
Oh
That shit is
shit.
crazy.
That was funny. Oh my god.
So,
But it was,
so what's the number? How much money do you have to have till that sort of kicks in for you?
I mean, they're like worth billions. So, I mean,
No,
So you got to be.
Yeah, I feel like you have
gotta
to
be
hit
a
the
part of
billion
the
marker.
Billies.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be
Wait,
part of
wait,
the billies. Like the millies, you can still get in trouble, but like
I mean,
I
you can
don't
pay
think I've
for
ever
it.
seen.
Like, you won't get in too much
But
trouble.
you can pay for it.
I was about to ask a
Yeah.
question if you were talking about what's your number for being paid off, but you're asking what the
Oh,
number is for you to become a terrible person.
yeah.
For me, it's 5
I was
million.
going
I'll shut up about anything for 5 million. Like as long as it doesn't touch my kids and my wife, I'll shut up for anything for 5 million.
5 million.
5
I don't got no price when it comes
or
to
my
tech.
kids or my wife. 5 million is and my dog. If my dog is harmed, you
Thank you.
charging. I'm charging hard.
Let me not say that on there. What
I don't
about
have
that
no
girl?
price for my
I
integrity.
don't care about these animals.
Oh, my integrity's cheap. 5 million. Real cheap. Real quick 5.
Your integrity's 5 million.
Jesus.
5 million. I ain't
So,
bashful. 5 million.
would you be one of the black people in the Trump commercial for 5 million? You'd be one of the black people in the Trump commercial. Be like Donald Trump.
Ugh.
Oh, he
See,
got
that's forever.
Let's go there.
That's
Here's
forever
5
right
million.
there.
She gotta say, I
$5
love Trump. I love
5
what he's
million.
doing.
I'm putting
5 million is
Ugh.
not enough for that.
He's
I'm gonna be
he's
honest.
doing
Ugh.
he's
All
the
lives
best president
matter.
for black people.
Tech, would you
Mm.
sell
You
that
got
company
it. 5 million.
for
That's
$5 million?
that's
and
the
you have to vote for him.
You gonna
Whoa.
sell that company
Ew,
for $5
no.
million?
I refuse to sell my vote.
he has to
I
be
refuse
over
to
your
sell my vote for that
shoulder.
low.
He has to be over your shoulder and watch you vote for him.
10 million.
Doing
10 million.
Nigga,
I'll
that's
say Trump
illegal.
saved my life.
I'm done.
Deal no deal.
10 million. That's it. You better say 250 million or something.
You're right. You're
You know
right.
what?
100 million. 100 million. I'm Trump's biggest spokesperson ever. Listen.
First of all, if he did give you that much money, you technically wouldn't be lying if he said he changed your life, right? Like you
This is
wouldn't be lying.
exactly.
He gave
Spend the
he
fuck
gave you
out
that
that
money.
shit.
Shoot, he give you enough to pay. We give people enough to pay off their student loans. They could say that, but that doesn't mean you
Yeah.
should sell yourself for it. A lot of these
say
people, I
this,
think he
I will say
literally
this.
brought them over from another
I will
country. And
say
they're
this.
like, oh yeah, he changed my life. I was living somewhere else, and now I'm living here.
I will
That's
say
what-
this. If Trump went to every HBCU and said, "I'm about to pay off all your guys' student loans,"
I don't got that
he
kind
would
of
get the black vote
You
immediately.
said you don't
He
get that kind of
don't.
bread.
He told, but yeah,
He probably racking some votes that way. I ain't gonna lie.
To do
Hey,
Current.
student loans
He
is
would.
serious.
yeah. You pay off my student debt. I mean, I'm sorry. I got nothing else. I got no other complaints besides the amount of debt that I'm in. Well, no, I have tons of complaints, but the amount of debt that student loans have brought me is
That's
one
the
of the
main one
bigger
right
ones.
there.
I'm
Oh
done.
The
shit.
oppression of my people, that's real shitty. But man, if I can get the student loans gone, that'd be great. One battle at a time.
You
You
gotta
know,
know your audience. This motherfucker is
like,
not about to do shit about oppression. But what you could do,
He's not. But you could do.
line
Lowest
your
hanging
pockets.
fruit. I get it. No, that makes sense. Lowest hanging fruit.
There you
I
go.
hate it.
Get that out my way, and I feel less oppressed personally.
Uh,
My credit score will go up. More windows opened up for me.
Being real about this, man.
Man,
No offense to you. I mean, it's an all utmost
he
serious.
about to slam you, dude.
He is.
You are literally sounding like a house Negro back in the slave.
Hey, he went all the way there. Wow.
Damn, he put me in the house.
Wow.
That slap
I
came
mean,
from
That's like a
that
modern
slap came from the
day.
That's-
1800s.
that's
It
He
says
pulled it
crazy.
all the way back into history, 1800s, and just
And he
Mm.
called
Just
you
like,
Samuel L. Samuel L. out
jeez.
here.
Yep,
Went
Samuel
through the
L. and
portal and
Django.
brought you back a fucking L. That's crazy.
Samuel L. and Django. He's like, hey, yeah, master, you should go whoop. Yeah, master, go ahead and do that. I'll do it for you. Matter of fact, I enjoy doing it. It sound like gonna be like Uncle Ruckus. Boy,
Wow.
I have never been so offended in all of my days. Calling
I mean,
me an Uncle Ruckus.
you said 5 mil.
I'm hurt.
The real
Bad
answer
luck.
should have said, there is no way in
I would
hell.
have donated some of that money to our people. Some small
They wouldn't
percentage. I
take
would
it.
have opened up jobs.
They wouldn't take it. They were like, man, it's blood money. We can't take this shit.
Yeah, I mean, all money is blood
That's
money.
fair.
Anyway, I'm gonna keep going.
True.
Go ahead,
We'll
Karen.
move on.
True.
You gotta
All right,
fight
You
for
sound
it.
like you want to drop some knowledge right there. You should explore that.
I mean, there is no, ethical consumption under capitalism. You know what I'm saying? What am I trying to say? I was not prepared to give a speech tonight. But like the whole point, right, is exploitation. That's how you create, excess capital that, you know what I'm saying, the owners of whatever harvest. That and wage theft. And so like, underclass exploitation, that's where the money is right there. Like that is why Bezos, Apple, that's why Tim Apple has no factories in America. Like you can't get iPhones for that price over here.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's just
But
supply chain right there. That's supply chain at work. You right.
So,
we
so,
ain't got to get
so
into it.
for extra credit,
Oh, go ahead.
maybe next week, we should explore the ethical ways of
Making money.
generating money. Yes.
Whose ethics?
Hey,
Who's
hey,
that?
That's an important question.
Ooh, AJ, you speaking good at night.
Whose ethics? Because
oh,
it depends.
Because my
that's-
ethics are tainted.
Right. Tech
Clearly,
and Crescent are out.
clearly.
Right? They're out. Tech and Crescent are out. So,
It's only gonna be
What's that?
4.
oh, your ethics and Tech's ethics, we're not going to use those to try to generate wealth because, I mean, I don't have to answer that because, right, for the reasons. So that's what I mean by
That's
whose
part of
a
the
ethics.
good
extra
idea.
credit. That's part of the extra credit, though. Like, whose ethics? We endeavor to answer that too.
I feel like
Hey,
Suave's a safe bet. He's the most morally right of all of us, to be honest.
Or at least morally vigilant and consistent.
Yes, inconsistent, consistent with his morals. It would cost a very high penny to buy Suave. I
don't think
imagine.
so. I don't think so. Just because he's human.
I think there's no amount of money.
It depends on who it's
Every-
coming from. I'm gonna be
Everybody
honest.
has a price.
Everybody has a price.
Yeah.
There's definitely a number. What
I
I
think-
will say is, like I said, all money is blood money, and
Mhm.
you know, as long as
Whose blood is
capitalism
it you
rules the
washing it
world.
in?
You said what?
Whose blood is he washing it in? That's the question.
That ain't, and you know what? That ain't even got to be the question. It's just like a matter of, you know,
You can't bring him back, Swab. You right. You can't bring him back.
I can't bring them back. You know,
AJ is
no ethical
supercharging.
consumption under capitalism. If somebody gonna win, as long as capitalism rules the world, it's gonna be a winner, and it's gonna be somebody at the
I
bottom.
look forward
That's how
to
it
this
works.
YouTube clip.
I'm done.
And hey, if I can win, I can do stuff that other
I
people
win.
who win wouldn't do. And it's
Exactly.
good for
That is
everybody.
always my thought process. I'd rather it be me in the winter square than Jim. Like, I'm sorry,
Facts.
Jim's gonna
Jim don't
keep
give a
doing
fuck
Jim
about me.
shit. Exactly. Me, I'm gonna do shit that Jim wouldn't do.
There
Yeah,
you go.
because it's gonna be for you instead of for
We
Jim. That makes sense.
Yeah.
we I'm gonna keep going. All right, so
Yeah, go ahead.
we gonna circle back to this. Um, so I watched Lovecraft Country episode 8. I didn't finish the podcast, but they were getting into some real salient points. Um, but one
So
so you said what?
enlighten us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for first of all, one the what Carl was saying about Tick like calling himself trying to protect Letty by like keeping shit to himself and doing shit behind her back when like it's all of them in this, like that shit was wild to me. Like he just took the key and went up. He was like, "Here you go, boom." And it's like, dog, what the you just gave her we like without really bargaining or anything, just gave her the key to this like multiverse machine. You have no idea what she's gonna do. She has no reason to be like, to anything. She has no obligation to you whatsoever. Like not too long ago, she was trying to murder y'all motherfuckers, and I'm just
Still is.
like, bruh, what kind of shit is that?
Still is.
R-
I
Frankly,
think his whole logic was, well, shit don't work, so tough for her. And I'm like,
that's
what
some
makes you think
dumbass
shit
logic.
don't work?
Yeah, exactly. And
What
then
makes
Ma-
you think?
Magic exists, guys. Let's something
that's
having a few bullet holes should not be a deterrent.
I'm
So that
exactly.
was
What the fuck was that
that's
shit?
ridiculous.
Oh,
That
you talking about
that sex
in
scene was too much for me. I I
What
don't know.
scene?
The sex scene with Ruby and
oh, turn
You
white? Yeah,
that was an intense
that was
moment.
intense.
Yeah,
what the
yes.
fuck was that? I wasn't ready for that. I'm gonna be honest.
So let's I want to talk about that for a quick second.
Go ahead.
What was the the more was it just the visuals of it? Was the fact that she transformed herself first? The fact that she is uh, going with William, but it doesn't seem like she's really willing to go with Christina. Like, what aspects was it like that made it intense for you?
So,
Yeah, I'll let you go, Swat. Yeah, go ahead, go
oh yeah.
ahead.
I mean, you can hold on. It's so the transformation. Like, okay, you wanna do this like this. Y'all are both consenting adults. That's your business. But like transforming back in the middle of it, and the fucking Chris William just being with it, like I was that was I
You guys
couldn't,
are
dog.
really
That's
selling this
like
show. You're selling it. I can't wait to see it.
My thing was that when she
You
tried
need
to justify what she was doing, she was like, I've been like, I just saw this kid, saw Emmett Till, you know, look like a monster, like because of somebody else. And like when she asked us, like, do you care? I'm
mm,
like, I was like, what kind of dumb question is that? Do she look like she care?
right over
Like,
that shit.
she just had sex with you 5 minutes ago and let
look.
you turn into a white lady. You think she care? Hell no. She care about one thing: immortality. That's the only thing she care
That's
about.
it.
Look,
Care about that
And
look,
book.
but she already knew the answer. She wasn't asking because she didn't know. To me, and again, I didn't watch the podcast, but to me, that was just like a moment that is
clarity.
supposed to speak to our current time,
Yeah.
where
Mm-hmm.
black black people know. Uh, Let me not say white people, but white supremacy. White supremacy doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your freedom,
It
doesn't
does
care
not.
about your legacy, your history got stripped away. They don't care about that. But people are protesting. Most people peacefully, and
Ain't
they're
no such thing as a peaceful
demanding.
protest.
What's that?
Ain't no such thing as a peaceful protest. The point is to
Okay,
disturb the status quo. I mean, the motherfuckers ain't gonna never feel like it's peaceful. But
all right,
go on.
Malcolm. Go ahead, Malcolm.
So,
Yo,
but
I'm done with this.
but
No, but I do feel like that's the point we need to make. There is no such thing as a peaceful protest because we have to make them uncomfortable for them to change. They hate being uncomfortable.
Okay,
so
light skinned brother Malcolm.
wow. Like, hey, but Malcolm was
Don't come for the light skin.
like, yeah.
Bro,
I
this
mean,
nigga
Malcolm
think.
was kind of anyway. But so the point, like, so to me, that was just reflective of kind of how some black people might be feeling now. It's like talking to white people, talking to their white friends, and be like, "Don't you care what happened to us?" You, first of all, you know the answer already, but the frustration, the exasperation, the helplessness is so great that you still feel the need to vocalize it, even though you know they don't give a crap. You know this place wasn't built for you, and for her, her answer is, well, I'll just get magic and empower myself. And
Mm-hmm.
the question is, what's the answer going to be for us? How are we going to empower ourselves? In lieu of magic, which, I haven't given up on yet, like I've told you guys. But, what does that look like for us to liberate ourselves instead of just talking to people continuously that don't give a crap about you? So to me, that's what it was. It wasn't about like, did she really think like maybe
Mm,
just maybe she cared about her? It's just you're at your wits end. You don't know what else to do, and you vocalize it just so that's enough to get hopefully to motivate you to move on to something that can truly provide you power, freedom, um, and some self direction.
true, true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, don't even be talking about liberation up in here, Carl. But
I'm ready for it. I'm
he's
ready for it.
All I would
this.
say,
Oh, go ahead.
all I would say about that whole episode, how they incorporate Emmett Till, because
Mm,
I didn't even realize that was Emmett Till until
yeah, later.
that episode. I was
Yep,
like, shit, I didn't realize it was him.
yeah,
Like, and then when it said Bobo, I said, oh,
yep,
that's when it clicked. That's
yep.
when it clicked.
They talked
And
about that in
so
the
I
podcast. Oh, go ahead. I thought you was done. My bad.
and so I think too, it kind of goes back to, like the girls following D. That goes back to like because the book that it was showing was Uncle Tom,
Mm,
and so it was showing a white girl being comforted by a black girl, but she's being chased by a demon who's in, who's who has the appearance of the black girl in kind of blackface, and the white girl is kind of in the same is like a blackface is like blackface too. If you look at the apparel that they look at as she looks like as each one of them looks like, it's two black girls.
I didn't get a good look at him, and I probably won't.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
looking too
So
closely there.
go ahead and be honest
yeah.
with you.
It was like one light skinned black girl and
Mm-hmm.
one other and a dark skinned black girl. And so
Okay.
you're like, so to me, I was like, wait a minute, isn't that supposed to be like a white? I was like, so it's like a white. So they're making it look like a white girl in blackface, but it's a black. And to me, that's what it looked like. I could be wrong, but it looked like a light skinned girl portraying a white girl. And
Mm,
I was like, that's interesting. And so how and then the music that was playing when they were chasing her, saying, "Oh, let it come in, let us in, come in, let us in," or something like that. I'm like, okay, so this whole curse that's following her, like it's trying to force its way in, like a deep, like a possession, basically. So I found it interesting. Like it's like society's trying to force certain things upon you in a sense. I mean, I could be reading to it wrong, but like I feel like society's trying to, especially nowadays, like with everything going on, everybody's trying to force their ideals of what they want upon you. to turn you into something that you don't want to be turned into, so to speak.
I would disagree with that
And
slightly, but uh, my
I
bad.
mean, yeah, no, I mean
That's kind of
term may be the wrong word, but like I feel like if you don't have your own, like some people don't know how to fight back their own fight about their own ideals, they kind of
yeah.
conform. And
I mean, I feel
so
like there's some stuff we could stand to collectively conform to, but I hear what you're saying.
yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
So I mean, I could be reading that wrong the way I looked at it, but like I said, that's just one perspective about
Yeah.
my
Um,
point of
something that they talked about in the podcast was how um and something that I was super uncomfortable with the whole episode was how like all the adults just kind of ignored Dee the whole time.
view. Yep,
Like she's clearly in distress. They're at the
the house.
well, no, before that when they're standing in line, I guess for the wake, and they're they're talking amongst themselves, and she's asking questions and she's not really getting any answers, and they're just like, well, should she even be here, whatever, whatever. And Montrose was like, basically saying that it's a kind of rite of passage for black people, right, to have to witness this sort of loss, whether they're a child or not. And that, I mean, that struck me, of course. But then like she leaves and nobody even notices. She's gone the whole like so. She goes back to the house. Montrose goes back to the house and fine. But like she escapes out the bathroom, and it's like, how long does it take this nigga to realize like that she's gone? And then instead of looking for her, he's sitting outside drinking, talking about I lost her. Like what the? I mean, nigga, she like 12, 11, 12 maybe. No, they were how was it? 14, 13,
Yeah,
14.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I was like, dog, what the fuck is this? And then she goes to Letty's house, and Letty is just so preoccupied, so tunnel vision, she doesn't even realize that like the girl is in distress and shit. And I was just like, bro, y'all are stressing me the fuck out. Um, for
but
real,
it kind
like
of goes.
So,
you said
so
It
what?
kind of goes. Oh, go ahead, Carl.
I was just saying, like, that time period is like, it's like how Jamaica was when I grew up.
Yeah,
Not
Really?
from the racist standpoint, but like if you're a kid, you need to shut your freaking mouth. Nobody
yeah,
cares about you crying. Nobody cares about what. No,
yeah,
like you do what you're told. If you don't do it, you get whooped,
yep,
and that's it. Like people weren't like people didn't want to hear about you being bullied. They don't want to
that's
hear
true.
about you're stressed out or
They
whatever.
talked about that on the
Like life's
podcast
is
too.
stressful.
Yeah,
Life is stressful. Get it together. This is what we're doing as a family.
mhm,
And like when I was a little kid, like I was like 5, 6 in Jamaica, like a few times, I was I had natural instinct to be terrified about being left alone.
mhm,
Right. And I would try to be by my mom, but like I'd go into the mall sometime, and my mom's just not holding my hand. I'm trying to have her hold, but she wouldn't, and she would like go and look at something. The place is packed, and I would lose track of her, and I
right,
got terrified. And I go to some spot, and they didn't have a PA system. I don't know how. Like she eventually found me,
mhm,
but that happened like a couple times, and it's not like not trying to throw my mom under the bus or anything like that, but that like people aren't like they weren't clinging to their kids like how they are now. Like now, you know, you got kids on a leash.
Yep.
Okay, you see them walking around the supermarket with kids on a leash. You got people with their babies in the little backpacks and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh no, you're not going nowhere." So
yeah.
it was
That
just a completely different mindset.
Yeah.
that's true. Nah, that is true. I hadn't considered that, but that's definitely true. I mean, my mom was born in the mid '60s, and she was raised by her grandma. And she was definitely a kid should be seen and not heard type of lady. And we y'all got a little bit of that.
That's
So question.
that's something personally as a sorry, Beast, go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna ask. So, for those who had kids in this podcast, um, have you like from you talking about that? 'Cause I know from my experience, like there was sometimes my parents like, "What do you want?" Like go play over there. My sister was like that. Truth for my nephew, like I'd be like that sometimes. Cause cause I always felt like, oh, he's always bothering me. I was like, no, he's not bothering you. He just wants to play with you, whatever. And so like, have you ever like for instance with D, she's seeing things and people
Mhm.
don't believe her or like just throwing or brushing her off. Like, have you ever like experienced that yourself, or have like your kids are like, "Hey, Dad, there's something like weird going on," or "Mom, like there's something like I see something like," and then you be like, "Oh, I don't see nothing, whatever, okay," like kind of brush it
I'm
off too.
Me personally, I'm not very likely to do that because I believe in crap. So like so if my daughters say they see something, my inclination is they probably don't see it, but I still verify it, right?
Mm,
Um, so it's not likely that I won't believe them because it's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. That's some supernatural thing or whatever. I freaking verify that. Like, if if my wife comes and tells me like, I've been having these crazy dreams, I think I'm seeing certain things or whatever, I take that dead seriously. Like I'm not gonna be the one like that makes no logical sense. There's no such thing as that, and therefore that's huge with me. Since growing up, so like that's not it. But I will say, uh, it's hard for me to deal with kids being kids in the sense that my daughters, they are they're smart enough to read my expressions. They're smart enough to know certain things right and wrong, but they're young enough to not necessarily care.
mm,
And uh, and it I that's an area of growth that I need to have to be more patient and understanding. I come up short with that quite a bit, and I'm trying to catch myself. But from a believing standpoint, that's not going to be me. That's hard. Like that's something I try to watch always.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to watch the Haunting of Hill
Here it is.
House.
You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to
Right,
worry
that
about
was
it.
never on
That's
the
just
table.
not happening. Absolutely not.
You definitely don't want to
I,
watch that.
No.
But
I would agree on that. What Carl said. Believing definitely not a problem. I truly believe, and in some ways, my daughter is extremely sensitive to those to those things. Um, for more reasons than one. But my thing is patience as well. Like I don't let my kids be kids. I was not someone who's let to be like growing up
Exactly.
real
Me
fast.
either.
I was in and out of foster care and stuff like that with my siblings and I were split very early, and I was in and out of foster care, and so I was never a child myself. So it's hard for me to let my kids be kids and let them make kid like mistakes, especially my eldest, because I was always the quote unquote parent for my siblings when we were together, and so I always expect my daughter to do above and beyond what a 9-year old should be doing, and that is a learning thing for me. And
Hmm.
watching that episode, I mean, I probably honestly would have been, I don't want to be the parent that avoids and ignores my child's feelings because it is a very serious thing, and even worse so coming up in this day and age. Um, and you have to be cautious of their emotions because they can take a turn down a dangerous path very, very fast.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt with my niece. We were talking about Trump and the election, and she was talking with her dad, and her dad is he's a good guy, but he has that mindset of like, I know more, so you should listen to what I have to say and don't speak. And I was telling him like, because he's in her life, but they don't really talk as much. And so I was telling him, you know, you have to. I know she's your daughter, but sometimes you have to like sit back and listen to her too, so you can learn about her a little bit. Because if you don't, then you are not really learning about her values and more. Oh Lord, what did he say? And so you have to learn about her morals, her what her values, is, what she like, because especially since she's a woman, she's a black woman. Like she's gonna like I was telling him, like she has different experiences that you are never gonna experience in life as a man,
Or
as a black man, and she's never gonna experience stuff as a black woman that a black man will experience. And so like you have to listen to her views when she's talking about politics or anything like that. So um and so I had to I mean I like everybody here, I had to learn too, like, with my nephew always wanted to play video games, stuff like that, but I didn't let him play certain games at a certain age because he wasn't ready. And he rages when he gets mad and he broke his controller. And so my sister's like, I got to buy him another controller. I was like, oh, and he's like, well, he wasn't raging. He's like, he wasn't raging because you were watching him. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I had to teach him more a little bit of how to not get hung up on stuff and not go in a rage mode because that can be dangerous down the road. And so, all in all, I'm saying is like, when it comes to children and what they're going through as children nowadays is different what we went through. So like you have to kind of take a step back and listen to what they got to say, listen to kind of watch them, watch their behavior, listen to them, and kind of like steer them down a path to where it's not the same as ours, but like similar to a sense to where they will, especially as black men and women, because nowadays like you can do all the right stuff in the world and still get pulled over and get shot or whatever. Unfortunately, and which is you know unfortunate, uh, unfortunate event for what's going on. But at the same time, like you want to teach them right, and so you know.
mm. um,
But,
real quick before I go into maths, I would say like I don't have biological kids, but I do like all the kids in my community are my kids. Like my nieces and nephews are my kids. My what I'm saying my friends' kids are my kids. And I definitely try to um, influence the parents that I know to um, not lord over their kids. Like your kids are people. They're not, what I'm saying, they're not your minions. They're not um, none of that. Like they're people and they're gonna learn how to interact with people and how to behave with people and how to treat people from you. And it's
mm-hmm.
like if you are a bully to them, like they're gonna go out here and be bullies, or they're gonna be bullied if they, what I'm saying, like it can go either way. Um, but yeah, and so it's definitely, and that's definitely the way that I try to approach it. Like my youngest nephew is, I mean, talking now. He's like 5.
Mm,
But so it's everybody that can talk. I try to talk to them like a person, listen to what they have to say. I will say I feel y'all on the patience tip. Like I love, love, love little babies, but once they start talking my head off, I'll be like, bro, go talk to your aunt. Like I send them to my wife, and cause she's so much better. I'll be like, dog, okay, we didn't talked about this for like 50 minutes. This same thing. Like why are we? I I don't know.
yeah,
It's
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. Like it's my nephew does the same junk, and he's like,
I'd be like,
He's like,
dog, I love you, but I can't. I can't do this anymore.
I was
It,
letting him play card. He was like, "Can I use the mic?" I was like, "Sure." And he's just on my. He's like, "Oh, get money, yeah, yeah." Oh, yeah. I was like, What is he talking about? I'm like, he's influenced by the YouTube videos he watches. So like, I'm like, well, shit. Like, I was like,
At
well,
what
man,
at what age
but
do we get out of that? Like, cause you know, like you, when you're young, you just talk about dumb shit. That's just part of being young. And then like you go to school, and you talk about dumb shit, but there's like a point. There's a point in time where you stop talking about dumb shit, or you
There's no
don't.
point. There's no point.
there's no point. There's some
You
people
know,
who still talk about dumb
there's
shit.
there's no age group. I think it's about personal experience. There's
Yeah,
no point in which you stop talking about dumb stuff. That's something that life does to you. Like,
That's case in point, the president, right?
yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you don't have enough
hey,
experiences, you will not develop. Like, that's the reason that going back to Kev's list, which we completely abandoned to talk about kids, um, secession. That's the reason you don't understand these people, because they're socialized completely different from you,
um,
and they never will understand your world. You'll never understand their world, because the rules of your society you learn through experience. They'll never experience those. So it's like that's why they seem so uncivilized to you, and that's the reason that people can call someone uncivilized in the first place, is
True.
because it's about what society you grow up in. So I can look at somebody and say, "Oh, that person's a savage," because they don't follow my social norms, and they can say the same thing about me because I don't follow their social norms.
yep.
So if you're to say, when do we stop talking about dumb stuff? When the world forces you to have more serious opinions, and only then do you stop talking about dumb
Yeah,
stuff.
cause I remember there was definitely that cutoff. I think it was like fourth grade for me where um you really started paying more attention to like girls and how you perceived, and like you couldn't come to school talking about Power Rangers and no girls would talk to you if you talking about Power Rangers or some shit
Right.
like that.
right.
And for me,
Um,
it was eighth grade before I realized that that was bad. So like another extra 4 years.
I'm still figuring it out.
yeah,
Like,
Look,
I was still playing with toys in eighth grade. Like,
AJ, I talked
so
about all that stuff until I graduated. So like,
yeah,
don't be.
no, like I was like, and I, to be honest, I'd play with toys now if I just hadn't like lost the habit. It's a habit, right? Like I'd still be like, to me that's not that, like, some things go away, some things don't. I think it's really about what life forces out of you, right? And what it
yeah,
That's why I
what
love
it
having
teaches you.
kids. It gives me that
What
excuse
they
again.
yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
That's why
Like
I
I
have
I
my
love
own
board games.
personal action figures that I play with my kids. So like,
Right,
you
right,
know, my
right,
daughter
right.
has hers, my son has
that's
his, and I
actually
have
really
my
cool.
own
It's
that
cool.
I keep. You know, I have like a
That's
little
what my
Gundam
dad
figure
did.
that I use. Yep.
Every toy my dad wanted as a kid that he couldn't afford, the moment I was old enough to even look at it, he was like, "Yeah, I'm buying him." Like, my dad likes trains. Shout out to
Yep.
Kristen.
Oh,
Kristen likes trains. So
uh,
my dad would buy a train set for me every year. I just broke the train tracks. That's all I ever did. But he would buy me a train set every year because he likes trains.
nah,
So he
I'm
would
not
buy
buying
him.
my kids train sets. I'm buying myself train set.
You can look at
I'm
mine from
sorry.
over there.
Yeah,
But
exactly, exactly.
It's
but
gonna be.
that's his excuse. He would buy a Hot Wheels
Yeah.
track, little Hot Wheels tracks with
Oh
the
yeah,
cars
Oh,
stuck on
I
the,
used to
the
fucking
collect
magnet
those.
love
punch track.
those trains.
I used to collect those.
I liked it because he liked it, but that was his passion, right? Those were his things. But he bought them because he's like, "Now I get to play with these things again," right?
But
Hmm.
isn't that what a blur? Isn't that what really a blur is? Is that you never, like, I know for me personally, like there was definitely moments where I had to, like, growing up, I had to like hide all this stuff. Like I didn't tell any of my friends that I love trains or I like the video games, and I mean at a surface level about with video games, but like um I didn't really get in. I didn't really express myself as a blur growing up until I got to college. Like that
Hmm.
was where I, met, JK, I met AJ and Carl, and that's when everything really just started. Like I was like, oh shit, like yeah, you could just be like
Oh
all I had
yeah,
to be myself. Yeah.
yeah.
So there's definitely like I think that's what being a blurred is just like we as black men, we're expected to be a certain way. Growing up here in DC, I was expected to be a certain way. We had our own social norms here. I mean, I feel like as kids we grew up super fast here. I mean, we were talking about like sex and stuff in like seventh, sixth grade, like
I think
crazy
that's
shit.
normal for
Like,
kids. I'm gonna be honest.
That's not too far. Yeah,
That's
I
like
thought
Yeah,
that's like right at
that's
the edge
about
of puberty for.
I was on South Florida. I'm talking about sex in fourth grade, dude. Like we had that, and things was happening, so they had to do like a little
That's
emergency
crazy.
sex ed things at the school because people were trying
yeah,
stuff.
That's
golly,
crazy.
Fourth
that's
yeah,
grade,
not
And
far off.
oh my gosh,
like
that's
That's not far off.
people
What
were
happened.
exploring. People
yeah,
were
no.
like that was not that was so far away from me. Like I knew people that were doing stuff. I'm like, what are you even doing? I didn't know the terms, but
right.
people were getting it in elementary school in South Florida, man. Like, so
That
yeah,
man.
you like I'm
gee,
thinking about it now. Like, okay,
It creeps me out.
my oldest is in the first grade. Like, legit, I'll probably have to have the talk by next year. Just assuming things are ratcheting up from when I was in school in South Florida. Like, that's crazy to me.
That is,
Like,
That is
but
crazy.
that's like a legit thing. We're probably gonna have to have that talk not too long from now. But yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's nice, man. We
that's outrageous.
so
You got girls, Carl. That's not your job. You let Secret handle it. No, just joking. just joking.
What?
yo,
I'm
whose
just
man
joking.
is this?
But
So we gonna go back to Married at First Sight.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
so so this is the most recent season. They're down in New Orleans. And this is the first episode where they kind of have officially, started the lockdown. Coronavirus is a pandemic now. Um, and so
Yeah,
Oh
like,
shit.
yeah,
Ron Ronan.
they production has left. Production is shut down. All the couples are filming themselves. They have like two freestanding cameras and like a couple in the house, I think. And like everybody is doing like filming their own progress and shit like that. They haven't been able to really see the experts because pandemic. Everybody's on lockdown at this point, and it's it's not going well, bro. It's not.
I can
It's
only
not.
imagine. I
yep.
can only imagine.
It's not going well. And so
If
the
regular marriages are dropping like flies, I could only
yeah,
imagine that one.
I know. I
man,
know.
like somebody you just met and married like a month and a half ago, and y'all stuck like they're supposed to be married. I mean, they're supposed to be together for like, what is it? 8 weeks is 56 days. I think at the end of this episode, they're in like day 75. And there's at the 56th day, that's supposed to be the day they say, okay, I want to stay married. Okay, I don't want to stay married. And so they're like 20 days over, almost a month over,
Woo.
living together still and stuff like that. Um, the one black couple is doing really good. Amani and Woody are doing really good. It sounds like a bad idea. They get matched by experts based on their like they get interviewed, they have to do workshops. It's based on like their beliefs, what kind of pets
Sometimes
they
they
have.
be missing.
Yeah, that shit
So,
I'm
be
not gonna lie.
they do
Sometimes they be
they don't
swinging and missing on that
always,
shit.
it ain't always all net. They be some
science and
bricks. They do be some bricks. Um
bricks and more like air balls.
and I
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
damn, just hit nothing. No, I mean that's true. There have definitely been a couple of like terrible fucking niggas who shouldn't have made it through. Like that one dude, Luke, he got married to the girl. He was like, oh, her friend came to my dating service, but he didn't like her, but he wouldn't say that.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't fucking with her at all.
And then like
At
they
all.
kissed, and then he told her off camera like that he felt sick and felt like he wanted to throw up. Like why the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah. He
Like
was a
dog,
little.
are you
Yeah.
okay? But then still on
Dude,
camera
like
telling her he want to be together. They want to gotta work it out, whatever. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. He was suspect the whole
The
time.
whole
that's
He
an
time,
was
intense thing to
super suspect.
say, man.
dude. Carl.
Like
I cannot imagine.
almost any female like that's in my age group or whatever, like, okay, I might not be super attractive, but you're gonna feel like you want to throw up.
I
That's next level, dude. Like, what's
yeah,
going on?
I think it was just like some shitty abuser shit he was on. Um,
Yeah.
and then the nigga Matt,
That's
the basketball player that was like having a whole, I don't know, had all kind of shit
Oh,
going
that.
on the side. Left his wedding
Oh,
ring at
yeah,
home. Wasn't
yeah,
picking up the phone.
yeah,
That shit was crazy. But so compared to that, everybody is relatively decent match. The average redditor nigga Brett, um, him and the girl, the one that was talking about, have you even heard of a budget, whatever, whatever, trying to being real disrespectful. they
wow.
they are obviously not together anymore. The first, like, his part of his problem is that he get defensive real easy, and when he get defensive or whatever, he gets real sarcastic, and she be like, bro, I need you to be serious. Like, this is not a TV show. This is our marriage. This is our life. Like, we're trying to build something. And he was like, like, cause she was like
That's
feeling like she didn't feel like he wanted to be in a relationship. She was like, so do you want to be with me? And she was like, I feel like I've made that clear. And she was like, but do you want to be with me? And he was like, yeah, wow,
he
you're
got a
really
straight
insecure. And I
answer.
was like, whoa, hey, I was
oh
like, wow,
my
this nigga want to get divorced real bad.
dude, dude. Like,
um, and the
I
first,
just okay. I don't
oh, go ahead.
understand how people just say things like isn't it just better to just cut something off than just being reckless with other people? Like,
I,
why?
I
Like,
would think so.
it's just
That shit is not right.
that's not even selfish. That's just bad karma. Like, why would you even want to do that? Just like, look, we're not vibing. Let's just end it
Right,
right here. We tried something. We just weren't the winners out of this situation. It's not for us, or it's not working here. Why are you gonna be like just trying to destroy other people's self image and all that? Like, that's I don't get that.
People
it's
are
garbage.
it's insecurity, is
Yeah.
it's all sorts of stuff.
Mm.
But the root of it is definitely just insecurity. So you have to pull somebody else down with you in
Right, so
order
you
for
can
you to feel
feel
better about yourself.
exactly, exactly. That shit is crazy. So that's them. So we have four couples. That's one. The one of the oh no, we got five couples. We got three white ones and two black ones. So the other white couple that's not
Two.
gonna make it.
What?
Yup, yup, yup.
It's not
No,
gonna
that
make it.
is. Oh,
They what happened with them? The girl is some shit. I'm gonna be honest. Like the dude. I mean, he got shit that he can work on. Like I mean, no questions about it. He real dry. He real boring. I mean, my man was afraid to like
Look,
go down a
look
mudslide.
as a boring person, I take offense to that. Like, look, the world needs dry and boring people. All you juicy people out here need somebody to soak up that juice. You just want everybody slipping and sliding because y'all are juicy out here. You need some dry people. We gotta soak up that juice, man.
I'm fucking dead. Hey, I mean,
I'm getting
I would
sick of it.
say
Sick
the
of it.
being dry is not his problem. He doesn't. That's the one that's not straight up with her. He does not communicate directly with her. He always want to like skirt around some shit or like talk to other people about it, which is wild to me. And so, but she is a fucking liar, and she be trying to gaslight him like a motherfucker. Like she was been talking about how you know, like last week she was saying basically confidence is a deal breaker, and now this is how many weeks are they in? I don't eight
Like the
nine.
you
lack of
said
confidence,
confidence?
like lack of
Yeah,
confidence,
lack of
or
Oh,
confidence
okay.
is a
in
deal breaker. Now the
okay.
whole other 8 weeks he's been talking about how he's not a confident person, and it's something that he's working on. It's a constant struggle for him. And they were supposed to be doing this intimacy exercise, and she was like, "Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me." And it's like, what? But we've been this whole fucking that shit. I was like, wow. And then she told him that she lived like downtown, but when they went to get their stuff from their from their apartments, because the show gives them an apartment now as of a couple seasons ago because this one wild nigga kicked his wife out of his condo.
What?
That dog, it
Hold
was
on, which season was that?
Tristan and oh shit, what was her name? The one in Dallas.
That sounds familiar. God
Damn,
damn.
what
Hold
was
on, let
her
me
name?
pull up a
The
picture.
dude, he played basketball. He had said he didn't want a wife that was darker than him, I think. And Pastor Cal took his ass to task on
Oh,
that.
come on, man.
No,
Yeah,
come on, bruh.
yeah. Pastor Cal was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, hey,
No,
calm your
right,
ass.
right. That's the exact right response.
And yeah, so they give them an apartment, and so they each when it's moving day, they go to each other's places, kind of see how the other half lives, and get their stuff so they can move into their new place together. So when they got married, she told him she lived downtown. After they got the stuff from his house, she was like, well, it's kind of weird right now. Half of my stuff is still in California, and so I just got a bunch of stuff in my car.
So
Like,
you're
what?
homeless.
Straight up, but lied about
So
it the
you've
whole
been
time.
lying. I lived out. You can just say you live, you know, outside, a little outside the city. No, you live downtown. Trying to play like you got some bread to live the
Yeah,
downtown lifestyle, but you're
come
homeless.
on, that shit crazy. And so then when he this week he was like, you've been lying to me, and she was like, when? So he brought up that example, and she like
Check
went.
their credit and all this to like filter that stuff out.
I don't think they run no credit checks. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They run credit checks. They
Uh,
need to do the more
Like they
thorough
do.
yeah, they
research.
they definitely need to do more better research. I'm gonna be honest. And so she just went like, pedal to the floor, gaslighting this man, talking about I never. Now it's on camera. Everyone has seen this episode where she says, I live basically downtown. And she talking about I never
Mm-mm.
said that. I told you I was
That was a
living
lie.
whatever, whatever. And he was like, it's on camera. And she started crying, talking about I don't feel safe. And I'm like,
Whoa.
What?
and so starts
Die with the
crying.
Make that
lie.
rap.
Die with the
No,
fucking
that's how you do
lie.
it. That's how you do it. You do misdirect. You start pulling on emotions. You pull strings out of nowhere, and now the other person who's trying to have a logical discussion
No
is like,
bullshit.
and they just short circuit,
That shit threw
and then
me
you get
off.
out of
It wasn't even that. She just like she started crying and shit. She was like, I don't. I'm exhausted now. I'm drained. I can't even. And just walked away. And I was like, what the fuck? Like he couldn't even say nothing else because she just kept talking until she was crying and walking away.
Mm-mm-mm.
That's I was like, wow. And so then later, he's in the. She has left, hasn't been back to the apartment. Um, and he's like, by himself with the camera. He's like, Christina texted me talking about she knows there's a certain reason why we can't get close, and she talking about she got a text from some dude talking about they're having a sexual relationship, and he was like, if I'm in a relationship with somebody else, why would I come and get married on national television? Like, how does that even? And he was like, I haven't seen the text. She hasn't been back to the apartment. She hasn't sent me any screenshots, nothing like that. And I'm like, this motherfucker lying. She just this is like this is like next level die with the lie right there. Um, so they're probably not gonna make it. Uh,
it. Probably not.
That's a
Probably.
probably not.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Just
Um,
probably.
probably not. The last white couple, the third one, they're doing really good. They're really in love with each other. They're both weird as fuck, and it's like super adorable. Good for them. Um,
Their weirds match each other.
yeah, they're both like creative. Like he does theater, and she makes music, and they paint and shit together. It's very cute. Um,
Artsy.
yeah. And
Artsy
so you
fartsy.
said definitely a Carol move. Oh shit. But yeah. And she wants kids soon,
Afraid of like how you're gonna survive in the future. Like you're already homeless, and now you're
bro.
gonna apply for a job. People do a little googling. You're done.
You're done.
Like what is gonna happen?
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
understand.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of like your boss looking up your Facebook feed. Like you go in for the interview and then they go and look at your Facebook and they're like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a bunch of drugs. That's drugs everywhere. I'm I'm gonna say no.
Right, I'm gonna pass on that actually.
What is all this white stuff on the table that you're in front
Yeah.
of?
You're
Baby
doing snow
powder.
angels in it. You're doing snow
Yeah,
angels in it. Like it's it's pretty bad.
that's baby powder, sir. We like to stay cool and dry over here. I
We
mean,
like to stay dry. We don't like chafing.
Frosty nose.
right.
Cross it off.
Dust that
I'm
off.
done. She wants to have kids, but like she's about to. That's the one that's a doctor. She's about to start her residency, and she has to move to Richmond. That's the, I guess, the program she
Yeah.
got accepted to. My man don't really want to leave New Orleans. He's, I don't think he's originally from
Nope.
there, but he's kind of, he's built a life and, all this type of shit.
It's really the food. You don't want to leave that food.
Facts. That must be
Freaking food, though.
the
You don't want
day.
to leave that food.
Mm.
The food.
Beignets.
Do you know how bland Richmond food
Ah.
is compared to New Orleans? Like,
Ugh.
this man gonna move here and just be tasting things. Like,
They
why does
don't. They don't know how
everything
to
here
make a
taste like
roux in
shit?
Virginia.
No,
Right?
they
They
don't.
don't know. They don't know how to make a roux.
I spent one
Do they
You
day
not
ain't
know
getting
how
it.
to
in that
season?
food.
No,
Probably don't.
you ain't getting. I mean, I will say he's a, vegan, so I mean maybe he'll find his way
That's
He
through
got,
even
there.
worse.
he don't
No,
got much.
that's even worse. That's even. You go from a place where they know how to
Vegan
season to a
people
place
in
where they don't know
Virginia
how to
definitely
season,
don't know how to
and
season
you're a
shit.
vegan.
Oh my
No,
god. You know what? Y'all got a
you might.
point.
You're gonna just be a raw vegan now. You're just gonna eat the stuff right out the ground. You're gonna just
Right out the ground.
start
Just
chewing
as
on it.
That at least
you're
that
gonna
way you know
use
what you're getting
God
into.
seasoning. Dirt.
Got dirt. Right, right.
Oh, stupid.
A little bit of this dirt here.
But they're cool. He didn't want to move, but he was like, I'll split my time, because I want to make this work, and I love you. Like they've already exchanged I love yous and stuff, and cool. So good for them. The one black couple, like I said, is doing really good. They've exchanged I love yous. They're definitely planning to stay together. Um, and that's great. Like the dude that got matched, like I mean, they've been a real good match. I feel like there's probably gonna be some stuff to work out. I feel like they're not always exactly on the same page, and he's a little bit more non-confrontational. Like he would rather agree to something to not have to talk about it than to hash it out. And so I feel like that's maybe gonna present some problems, but for now they're cool.
That's absolutely gonna be a disaster.
Yeah.
Mm.
But he be cooking
That is
breakfast and
personally one of my biggest marriage problems. I run from fights
it,
like freaking like I just the Flash.
You just go out.
Doom!
You just go outside and walk forever. Like you just like
I
yeah. You
Go
just
to
like
me,
my
Andrew.
I can see my wife walking towards me and like her body language tells me shit. There's a conversation that's about to happen that I don't want to have
yeah,
right
you're
now.
not gonna be happy
yeah,
with this
And then I'll be
conversation.
like,
you go to the store and pick up.
Jackson, son, come here. Let's go outside and play. Let's go outside and play. Like middle of the night, you want to
You
turn
use the
around,
baby as a
she'll face
shield.
me. Yes,
Whatever it takes, AJ.
Use the baby as a shield. Just
Whatever
this
it
is
gotta
why I
takes.
had him.
Whatever it
Stupid as
takes.
hell.
You should say
I don't know what
that.
the hell I'm gonna do in 18 years when it's just us in the house.
no, no, it's all gonna come rushing back then.
No, but
By that time,
no, God.
by that
you go
time,
look
y'all
for the
gonna be.
baby, she gonna be like, so that's what you've been doing?
Yep.
She gonna
That's
go
what you
back.
told
One
us
of our
photos
kids
of
called from college.
baby.
I gotta go. I gotta go drop off some ramen noodles real quick, honey. I'll be back in like 2 weeks.
Promise you ain't gonna do that, huh? It'll be something else.
I'm dead as fuck.
But it's
So
personally something I am trying to get over.
Freeze dried
yeah,
noodles.
nah, it's it can be difficult. Nah, but we are. I'm gonna wrap up, Maps. We can circle back to marriage stuff. Um, the last black couple is probably my biggest disappointment on the show in a while. Like so it's Miles and it's Karen. Miles is the other black guy's best friend, and the two black couples have gotten pretty close, and that's cool. And Miles is a cool dude. He's, progressive. He's a really good partner. Like so he's a school administrator or something. So he's out of work at this point. He in there, cooking 3 meals a day, cleaning up, you know, making like he was cleaning the tub to make sure she could come home and have a soak because she works in healthcare. I want to say so. She's doing double digit shifts some days. But like I'm watching the footage of them, over time. It's like my man is mostly home alone. And then when she's sitting on the couch, he goes over there, sits on the couch, like leans his head on her arm, and she doesn't even look his way. Like it's real awkward for me because it's like 2 minutes they're just kind of sitting there. I'm waiting for her to like hold his hand, touch his shoulder, and she just kind of sits there. And
Mm.
eventually my man gets up, folds up his blanket, and just goes about his business. And I'm like, damn, bro, like how? And this is something that he's talked to her about, like these are the things I need, these are the things I want, and she's like, okay. And then she keeps coming back to, like, they talk to the expert. They talk to the women on this episode. Talk to Dr. Pepper, who's the show's sociologist, and then the guys talk to Pastor Cal. And so
I had so
Karen,
many 22 flavors jokes, but go
yo,
ahead.
here you go. Dr. Pepper is an old white
Good.
lady. I don't want to. We're not even. So
Look,
Karen is talking to Dr. Pepper once again about
And Karen too. Oh, that makes it
uh,
better.
what?
he said
No.
Karen too. That makes it
Oh yeah,
better.
uh, that's her name. And Karen is talking to Dr. Pepper about like Miles not being like masculine enough, and like she. So that's one thing that she says, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. And then the other thing that she says is that basically she's worried kind of like about the other shoe dropping. She's like, he's so nice, he's so sweet. I want to know the real Miles, and it's like, but this is the real Miles. Like y'all, it's not like
I hate that.
it's the fucking worst. And it's like I understand. Like, Karen, her last relationship ended in heartbreak for her. The nigga like had a baby on her or some shit after they was together for several years.
Damn.
And it's like,
Damn.
okay, I get that you feel apprehensive, you know what I'm saying? Because at the beginning of
Shell
the
shock.
relationship, everybody wants to put their best foot forward, right?
Right.
But like you on the one hand, you are saying you want the real him, but he's being himself and you're just like, nah,
That's
nah,
not it.
I don't want that.
That's,
You're
And you have
all
not
liars,
made
sir.
any room for him to be himself. Every time, like she's always like policing his masculinity and like it's
She's worried about the
it's
wrong
like
thing.
is she worried about the wrong fucking thing? Like it's some real it got real like gross and like borderline homophobic on this last episode
Mm.
because she was like, what did she say? She was like he called her sis one time and he had offered to go to the nail salon with her. And she was like, I don't need him to be my girlfriend. I'm like, what the like dog, we're about to have a big fight at that point. Like I can't even tell you.
Yo,
And I'm
getting
just,
pedicures is the shit.
bruh, ain't I mean, I don't cause
um,
my feet are
yeah.
terrible and I wouldn't want to put that on
Yeah.
anybody. But
Right.
Do
Amen.
it.
Amen.
Treat yourself.
No, no.
It feels
I
good, man. I'm telling you.
feet should be in socks and then in shoes and then in another pair of shoes on top of those shoes. All feet. That's just my rule.
yo,
I want to get one, but I'm
Damn.
afraid I would get roasted in Korean.
Duh.
hey, you
Do you
will.
know?
Hey,
Do you know how
listen,
many?
it
Do
don't
you know how
even
many
matter cause you
feet
don't
they
know
see?
Korean, so fuck that shit.
I do know a
Exactly.
little bit, so
He does know a little bit of
Oh
Korean 'cause
yeah,
he
true,
lived there.
true.
I know some cuss
He
words.
knows enough to know ugly feet. As soon as somebody said that, he gonna be like, "Hey, hey, man."
I'll be like, you know what? I'm not even mad at you because they are kind of a little ugly, but it's all
Duh.
good.
It's they
That's
see
why I'm here.
they see the most fucked up feet every day. That shit will not phase them. Trust me.
No,
Dude, I
it's
want
not
to
about how
see.
they feel. It's about how I feel about how they feel.
And I
So
couldn't take
it's
care of
like
my feet.
This
when
shit
they're
feel
holding my
good. It's relaxing.
And I couldn't
look,
take care of my feet, so I had to come
don't
here.
That's
touch
all you gotta do
my
is just sit back and relax. It is I understand after all of these years, I
Question,
understand why they
question.
go and get their
You
feet done. That
did
shit
you
is
did you have your switch in hand while you were getting your pedicure?
nah, but I had my phone, I had my tablet, like I was chilling.
Nah, I'm
I was
good.
chilling.
I just I don't like people touching my feet.
My
I
feet
don't
are
even
too
like
sensitive
touch.
for all that. My wife tries to do it herself often, and I mean, it is fantastic. That's
It
why
I,
is.
I appreciate her.
I,
can we just not have feet? Can we have like pads or just permanent
what?
shoes?
What? So we're gonna,
What?
Just permanent shoes.
bruh. How would you wash
Anyway,
them? Like you take any? Yeah, we gonna. Um,
How would you wash?
like I
I think we spent enough time on that.
uh yeah, and so like I don't know,
I can see
like I
the
told
YouTube
y'all,
clip now.
right?
Oh, I got a couple of them in the on deck, ready.
Lord. Um, but yeah, like when he was telling her about his depression and he takes medication and she was just like her face was just like and I'm like what the and then like
Yeah,
when they
that's the classic stigma.
yeah and then they had these like real cute little baskets delivered that had like their wedding vows and pictures from the wedding and stuff like that. And they were supposed to, go through it on camera and stuff like that. And so, they took out their vows and she was gonna read hers and she'd look over at him talking about don't cry. Like, wow, what the this shit
This is
it's
That ain't gonna work. That's
when
not gonna
God
work.
it's it's not. And she like I mean she he wants to try. He wants to be married. His grandparents have been married for I don't know, I want to say like 50, 60 years, something like that. And that's the
Yeah,
kind of, that's the kind of relationship he wants. He feels
that's
like he didn't get
yeah,
that in his household with his parents.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, he want,
yeah. She focused on the wrong stuff.
she focused on the
Eh,
wrong
if
fucking
she
shit
not seeing the big picture, she not appreciating,
at all.
him being who he is, and him being like
this ain't
100%.
gonna work.
It's not.
She has an idea in her mind, and it is not being met, and so she's not going to change her mind on
Mm-mm.
any of that stuff until
Yeah,
he's gone, and she's gonna be back in that same situation. I ain't got no man, ain't no man out here, ain't no good men out here, blah blah blah.
facts.
Like dog, you had one, but you weren't focused on the right shit.
And I'll
You
say something super petty and a little bit problematic right quick, but it's like, how did getting the type of nigga you wanted work out for you the last time? Like, chill the fuck
exactly. It's
out.
like you didn't learn your lesson last time.
No, come on, it's a matter of degrees. He needed to be just a little, if like 2 or 3 degrees less that nigga.
That's it. That's all you need.
Miles sounds like he's 45 degrees off. That's a large delta.
Go ahead.
That is a
I'm
good
dead
point.
as fuck. All right,
At that
so
point, I'll be singing "Doves Cry" by Prince.
I'm done with this thing. So that's it for what I watched. I do need
That
to catch up on
song is
my
ball.
enemies. Oh, what's up, Carl?
Enemies
No, it's
I was
animes.
saying that song is ball.
Oh, the
Sounds.
song is balling.
Oh yeah,
Doves cry? Yeah, that's fresh.
Prince is A1. That's a real
Yes,
nigga.
Absolutely.
yes.
Um, I need to catch up on the anime. I'm behind a couple episodes from summer, and I have not watched any of my fall stuff that's on my watch list yet. I quit Wasteland because
That thing it betrayed you.
the fucking bugs, man. Oh my god, like
It
it did
Unity.
it ever. I
It was
played this
Unity.
long ass battle.
Yeah, it's a
Wait a
Unity
Betrayed.
minute,
game.
Kristen. Didn't you tell us to jump on Unity when we was talking about game dev?
Yeah,
Ah,
you jump on Unity, but not these motherfuckers. Like
You was,
they're
you
big
was trying to
enough to get
sabotage
like use
us.
some Unreal.
yeah,
Nah,
You
you
were trying to
Everything
good.
you were
sabotage
saying
us.
was we need
they're
some
part of
good
Xbox
developers.
Studios.
Like
Like, come on, dog.
Yeah, I know they got a bet. They got access to something in there.
Yeah, y'all got bread.
But Ori was built in Unity too, so Ori
what
is
Hey,
a
well, they
that
need to
tells
go
good
get some
template.
tips from the studio that built Ori, because that shit was whack. Like I
But
spent.
they actually. Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
They actually what? I'm gonna listen real quick.
Um, the Ori people
Hmm.
they actually forked Unity, so they
Oh shit, they got
created.
like a custom.
Yeah, so they
Oh
did.
shit.
They had to. I'll share the video. It's on Digital Foundry did it.
Or nah,
Um,
that's kind of cool.
but yeah,
But the fucking, I spent like 2 hours almost on this one like huge battle because it was a whole bunch of like I went to this Reagan worshiper settlement and I had to beat like 20, 30 enemies. And it was made worse because they like the battle system would never turn off. Like once somebody sees you, then like they lay this grid down and all right, you gotta fight. There's no fleeing or anything else. You gotta fight. But the shit, like I would beat the enemies that were that could see me, and the shit would not go off. I'm like, okay, well maybe I just gotta beat everybody, but I'm restricted to like my action point stuff when I can't free move. So I'm like moving a little bit at a time, little bit at a time, and I finally beat everybody, and the battle will not end, and I can't save. The last time that they saved for me was like before the battle. So I'm like, all right, I'ma quit it and we're gonna see what happens. Maybe there's a slight chance that they, what I'm saying, did a little something for me, knowing their game is fucked up. And I went
Reset.
back and they started me like at the very beginning, and I was like, you know what, fuck that. I deleted off my Xbox. I'm not going back.
I don't blame you.
He
I
I'm,
don't
said
blame you.
reset.
I
I
deleted
have
that shit.
very similar story happened to me with Rage 2, uh,
Oh,
where the I literally got all the way to the final mission and the shit like glitched out. Like you basically supposed to go, you're
Damn,
supposed to get into this big ass tank and go up to this base, and then you gotta fight these people, blah 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 blah. But every time you get into the tank and you roll up to the little base, the shit doesn't trigger. Like the mission doesn't trigger. So
damn,
you're sitting there and your tank just gets blown up immediately because you're not supposed to go in there. Yeah, that's like their way of artificially like gating you. And yeah, I put like I
I
think
was.
like 20 something hours into that game.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like I was about to like go out on the mountaintop and shout out, be like, yo, Rage 2 is tight, Rage 2 is tight. And
damn.
then and that shit happened, dog.
Too
I
Feel
felt
soon.
so
betrayed.
betrayed. Yeah.
Damn.
Betrayed, man.
Like
That's
how else can you feel
honest.
at that point?
I can't finish this game that I actually really enjoy. I can't finish it, and the shit just like laughs at you. And it's a bug that I think it's specific for Xbox. And I went on Reddit, and people were. This was like back when Rage 2 was released, and the shit still wasn't patched. This was like Rage 2 came out, I think, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
And this was like a day one like bug, and the shit never got fixed. Like, uh, it's not id that worked on it. It's another studio. I forget the name of them. But yeah, they was just like, yo, fuck it. Like, so I feel your pain, man. That shit is like, I mean, come on now. You know, we got these
Bruh.
powerful ass systems, and we got these game breaking bugs and shit. Like, it's craziness.
It was
Yeah.
terrible. I tried No Man's Sky on my
Oh,
stream on Tuesday.
oh,
I saw
oh
you on
man.
there a few days ago.
I'm about to delete that shit. It was incredibly boring. Um,
Yeah, think about that game. Think about that game for a second. It's real space travel. Like it's what space travel would really be like in a video game. Like, have you ever seen like a watch any of those launches, like a space launch?
yeah,
Yeah.
Right. They're not exciting, right?
no,
Everything takes 30 minutes to do. Like No Man's Sky is like, oh, let's go out and travel the universe in this procedurally generated universe.
yeah,
Like that is only exciting in real life. That's never gonna make a game, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like that's the most boring part about space exploration is the exploration part. Like that takes days or whatever. And even if you simulate the time and speed it up,
yeah.
you're still dealing with the most boring aspects of going into space. Why do you think that Star Trek and Star Wars immediately threw ships in there and started blowing things up?
You
Because
said,
they realized the only thing we're concerned about is the human element. We're not concerned about
right.
actual like, oh man, there's another planet that can hold human life. The only reason that's exciting is because it can hold human life. It's not because it's out there. And I don't know what they thought they were doing. Like maybe they were like they were gonna like
Kind of
people
like
wanted
Star.
to nobody wants to explore space. They just want to find new stuff and then they want to be
Yeah,
human with that new stuff.
There's a huge community around it. I mean, people love it. Like
right.
It's
I
trash.
I just
It's a
don't
dumb idea.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I
I don't
wanted to
get
love
that.
it.
Uh,
People were so
There's no
excited.
gameplay.
They were like, the bugs are patched. It's so good now. And
So
I
much
was
no,
like,
better.
you're
great. I'm gonna download this. It's on Game Pass. I'm gonna play this shit.
Let me ask
And
and the
you.
funny thing
I
is,
lasted like 5 minutes.
let me ask you a question. Like when you get to another planet, right? And there's
mm-hmm.
new life forms,
I didn't even get
right?
off the planet.
Damn. That's messed up. You didn't
Yeah.
even get off the
When you get
planet.
to when you get to another planet and there's new life forms, aren't they still like just like our life forms but different? But like they still do all the same stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's just like a
basically.
skin on top of the same idea.
Basically.
Basically,
I
yeah.
mean, some of
Right,
them
and
are
you're
kind
gonna
of weird, but yeah.
but for the most part you're gonna deal with things that are not necessarily bipedal or quadrupeds, but you're gonna deal with stuff that
Yeah.
crawls or walks or
Yep.
climbs or
Yep.
flies or swims, and that's pretty much it. And it's just gonna look different into perpetuity.
Basically.
Right, right. So you
And
see
they were
one fish, and then you see a different color fish hundreds of light years away, and that is what you want to call a game. To
A
me, it
lot of people
sounds
love it.
they do.
no. Those
And I
people.
wanted to.
That's that's worse than The Sims. That is
That's worse
that is
Uh,
worse than The Sims.
that's fighting words.
And The Sims, you don't even go outside of your own block. They're going across the universe and doing more boring stuff
Yeah,
than The
they didn't.
Sims.
It. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not a game dev. I don't have. That's not one of my aspirations. I don't have ideas about how to make it
Why
more
are games
exciting.
buggier? Why are games more buggier than regular software? I feel like
Because they're
this.
throwing them out faster, I think now.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
and the process for what you tested is
High
different.
demand.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Most of what's doing the work are the engines. It's not like they're making new engines every year.
I mean, it's a very it's a
So,
very iterative thing. Like you need like constant test. Like I don't think there's a huge investment in testers, and
Mm,
um there's just so many, like a game like No Man's Sky, like that. I can't even imagine trying to test that game because you
it's
have I mean literally infinite, possibilities, I guess,
yep.
permutations
so
and combinations of things that can happen, right?
yeah, so it's like I don't even know, like, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start with that, but I just think that there's definitely because I don't think games are more complex than normal. I mean, of course, like they get bigger. I just think they get bigger and there's more possibilities,
Mm,
especially with, like, open world games. I mean, going back to what we was talking about last week with the whole cyberpunk stuff, right? Where they're in crunch mode now because like the game is I'm sure like the game has been finished for a long ass time, but the 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 scale of that game, like, I can't even imagine the different uh situations that might arise, and they're never going to be able to squash all the bugs
yeah.
inside of a game like that. Like a lot of that stuff won't even surface until it's out in the public. So
Yep.
there's just
Mm, I
so
just
many
feel
like
like they're
moving
not
parts.
TDDing. They're not doing TDD. I
I,
I
feel like
mean,
I don't know.
there's
They're
I,
probably unit testing.
Yeah.
But there's
unit
just probably
testing, but they're not doing TDD.
well, okay. Well, I would say that
How does
even if
that
they
work?
were doing test-driven development, right? Like even if they were doing that, like I I don't think that some of these things that the system in which you could test it in, like there's not a system in which you
yeah, these
can
are
do
like gameplay mechanics.
right, right. There's
Yeah.
not a system in which you can do everything that a human's gonna do. Like there might
Yeah.
be like
Exactly.
they might do some crazy thing where they set up like a region that you like Kev's issue, right? There's a region you have when you step into it, it initiates battle, right? Like Kev might have been just at the right point,
Yeah.
wrong point.
Right.
To where if you step in it, you run into that infinite loop issue. Like it might just
Yep.
be some kind of glitch that deals with both the engine and some of the game mechanics, kind of like
Yeah.
that one point. And now he's trapped in basically an alternate reality while everybody else gets to
Wow.
keep playing the game. He's
Basically.
just got to keep.
So
He's
Yeah.
living Groundhog Day in his
so we
game while
need
everybody else gets to go on.
so we need a platform feature like an Xbox. So Xbox record that, Xbox report that. When you go
Mm.
report that, it grabs the last 30 seconds. uh,
PlayStation does that.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
downloads the world and sends it off to the developers to say, "Freaking fix this."
Yeah, PlayStation actually does that. It's pretty cool. If there's a major bug that the OS, the PlayStation OS picks up, it basically gives you pops up a form where you can says, oh, an error has occurred, blah blah blah. Type it out, and then it'll say like, all right, we're basically gonna send the last like you know X amount of time that occurred when this bug happened, basically. Um, so yeah, there's systems like that. I haven't seen that on Xbox.
But
Um, uh,
see,
for
if that would happen if an exception happened, right? So if it glitched out, there's not necessarily an exception that was thrown.
Yeah, because that's on a application level, and not necessarily
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
you need to be able to like just report stuff, and then because it could just be it's not like an error. There's no exception. It's just this is a behavior problem,
Mm.
and you need to just report it.
I mean,
And ideally, there should be a feedback loop, right? Like you get an
but
email or you get an Xbox message saying they received it or this is what the developers responded with or something like that.
then like you have to like the OS has to be smart enough to know that that's a glitch in the game. The OS wouldn't really know that unless there's a
That's why I
an
said
actual.
Xbox report that. Like it should be user driven.
Well, it is Xbox record that. That's basically it. I mean, you just don't send it off to the. I mean,
I'm getting Carlos saying we should be able to.
We should. That's what I'm saying. Just add that. Like send the video plus the game state off to the developers and be like, okay, this is the user
uh,
that reported that,
True.
and then
that's a I don't know. That is a because people are gonna be reporting all it. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have
we
to. It
got
Yeah,
definitely
they
has.
would
AI.
get inundated with stuff. But I
Yeah.
mean, well, we can put a pin in that. We do. There's a whole bunch of headlines in here we was gonna go over. But since we're running tight on time, maybe we can just pick out a couple of the like particularly big ones. Where do y'all want to start with the news? Anything in particular?
Um. What did you all think about the PS5 teardown? Did you all look at that?
I did. It was cool.
Saw clips.
I got very bored very quickly and exited out of
It
that
was it was
video.
not exciting. I will say that. But they did address
I'm
the
surprised.
vertical stand thing, and it does.
Yeah.
It was kind of a cool implementation.
Yeah. If you look at like the size comparison between like the guys like midsection and the PS5, like the PS5 was this dude's midsection, dog. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
That's just
unless he's
cooling
really
space.
small, like that thing is
It's just
massive.
cooling space, huh? Just a place for all
It
the
did have a
air
real
to
thick fan,
circulate.
and they put ports on there for you to like vacuum the dust out. I appreciate that.
That is
Mm.
actually pretty cool. Um. It's just weird seeing that from Sony because Sony doesn't. They that's not a very that's a very new thing for them to do a video like this. Like
Here,
I
Maurice,
think
go.
I
Oh,
think what's
pressure.
the name to Xbox melting hands. Yeah, I think that was just it was just a response to what Xbox has been doing with their messaging. I mean, they revealed the Series X like all the way back, last December during the thing, and then early part of this year they have people go out and actually like take it apart and all types of shit. So it's cool that Sony's kind of like adapting and be like, all right, shit. I guess if they tear down their system, I guess we
Yeah.
tear down ours and see what's you know. So it's interesting like how I mean competition is good. Like you start seeing stuff like this, like they
Mhm.
they have to respond. can't have these can't have this one company just completely dominating stuff because they get lazy. That's why you have games like Madden, which Madden is terrible. There's no competition. So football games suffer because you have to play this one shitty game every fucking year. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, because it has a boost clock, do you think if like you throw a PS5 in the freezer, kind of do like an overclock thing and increase the performance on it?
What's wrong with this man?
You
You
said put
gonna
it in a freezer?
Put that crap in the freezer.
trying to
I mean,
get some
overclock.
overclocking on your PS5?
Overclock.
But what's
Yeah,
the
leave
point?
that up to some Linus Tech shit.
What's the point though? Like, what's
Frame rate.
they're not gonna build anything that's
That's
gonna
right.
be able to. No, I get you, but I don't like. I think that they're gonna build all the games to a lower spec than what the actual system can do, right? Like they're not. Those
Some
games
games,
aren't gonna be
some
so
games
high
aren't
performant.
locked. Some games aren't
Okay.
locked at their frame rate, right? So
Okay.
it'll just scale up with whatever performance it has. So most games they do kind of lock it to make sure it doesn't exceed the limits of the console, but some games it'll just take up as much power as it has. So for those, you
Okay.
could be like, can we get 120 frames? Can you get 150 frames out of it? Um, or I guess 144. I don't know any monitors or anything that is. Actually, there's 240 hertz out there. Yeah, so yeah, get
Yeah.
like 150 frames. HDMI 2.1, so you got VRR. It'll work. See if it'll see it if you can boost it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's like a notorious thing for the Switch. Everything is underclocked on the
Mm.
Switch. Like it could do way, I won't say way better, but it can do uh way more, but they keep it underclocked, so they keep the temperatures down and performance uh across the systems. Just make sure that none of them joints explode in your hands, basically.
True.
Yeah, the
So
Samsung going on.
So, Lord. Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War got a couple nice little updates. The beta is coming out soon. We got a field of view slider for like the first time on console, and we got
I
a
know
ping
that's
system.
crazy.
Bro,
Man, every shooter should have a ping system.
I
I think that we're past we're past these days where we hop on a mic with randoms. Like I don't even really like hopping on a mic, period. But like hopping on a mic with a random is like the last thing that I want to do. And so in order to like
not interested.
communicate, yeah, like in order to communicate, I think a ping system helps that. I feel like a lot of us are like that now. Like we're past the 360 days where we're just like hopping on, mic talking shit to randoms and shit. Like we all grown up, for the most part. But
No
I
new
think,
friends. Don't want no
yeah,
new friends.
exactly. So I think a ping system alleviates that. It really does allow you to still work as a team without having to, put on a mic and no call outs. Like what we were just talking. I was like, I never in all of the shooters that I've played, I never memorized call outs. I think that takes a little bit of the magic away from the game for me.
Mm.
Like it's just a little it's that's a little too try hard for me. So I never really took the time to like learn call outs. Like, oh, mid, such and such, top mid, and blah 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 blah. It's like I don't. Man, he's up at the top. Shoot him. God damn it.
That's it. Them the
He up
directions.
there.
Get
He
good,
up
scrub.
there. God damn it. So
I
so
mean,
I'm glad to see that ping system is being implemented not only in fucking BR but like in
Yeah.
general.
Now I don't think I'm ever gonna really get taken with any of the battle royales games, but I appreciate that they're bringing ping systems to first person shooters in like in a regular way, in a way that I will actually use.
Yeah.
Um, so
It's yeah. What
AMD,
what is about battle royale that turns you off?
it's just all so fucking sweaty, dog. Like I can't. I can't even get into it before it's like somebody is breathing down my neck trying to like, damn, can I even like
Can I get my
I watch the
bearings?
streams, no bullshit. I watch the streams, motherfuckers go in here, they pick through equipment like, and I'm like, bro, how do you even know what you're? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
huh?
nah.
I don't think I don't think this is gonna be for me. And I mean, I guess I could practice, but it's just like
It's
I
all
already
about
got
repetition for PRs.
yeah, exactly. And then I don't like having like I don't like the you know what I'm saying last alive wins dynamic. Like I'm not a sniper. I'm not aiming shit. Like I don't want to hide. Like I want to run and gun. And it's like if you get me before I get you, okay. Well I want to respawn and try again. Shit. I don't.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. You're preaching to the choir
Oh,
right here.
sounds like you're talking
You don't
about
want to have to go all the way back to lobby and try again.
No.
Exactly. Nah, it's just it takes too much time to just ramp back up, ramp like you have the most intense battles in a bit on a BR game. And you're like, fuck, I just missed them by that much, and then
Shooting that ants. I can't
you have
see
to
that fucking shit. I'm
restart
blind.
that whole process over. You got to revamp. It's like,
Yep.
oh well, I gotta
Gotta
go
find
get
more
this and
equipment.
that's. I'm just like, man. But I will say, Apex, out of all of the BRs, that's the one game that I don't feel like. Um, I feel like the ramp up is a lot quicker because
Mm.
Apex is just like the gameplay in there is just so much more fun than
Apex is
any of the other
probably
battle royales.
one of the. I don't think I've tried Apex. But you know, I'm gonna download it. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
Crossplay
Um,
coming soon.
hey,
Crossplay is in
such a
beta right now.
premium,
It's
dude.
in
Like I have
beta
to
right now.
down, I have to delete something.
you say you gotta delete. I mean, gotta buy a external hard drive very quick.
External, man. What you doing with that externals out here, Carl?
See, getting called
That's
active.
another. That's another
Mm.
Benjamin plus.
Just,
No.
just sounds like your priorities are messed up to me. Feeding
Yo,
your kids and stuff. That's
what?
crazy.
Like, what are you doing? They don't need. They don't need that. What they need is
They
more
don't need
space on the
that much
Xbox.
food.
No.
Absolutely.
And the more you feed them, the more you gotta feed them. See, it's an
I
endless
know.
endless cycle.
Yeah, in this move. Yeah, you right. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, AMD finally announced their Ryzen 5000 um
When's that shit come out?
CPUs the 5th. No, no, not the 5th of this month, you know, the 5th of next month. So November 5th they're going to be launching globally all of the Ryzen 5000. They got the 5950, 5900, 5800 and 5600X. I think the top one is like 799. It's
That's
crazy.
not bad.
How many cores?
How many cores is that top one? I want to say it's at
16
least
cores.
16.
16,
I want to say the
59,
5900 was 12. So yeah,
59, 50,
the
16,
5950 is 16 cores, 32 threads, I think.
Zen 3.
Yep. Boost up to 4.9 gigahertz. I mean, it's a good little, it's a good little, but it's, I mean, 800. I can't drop 800 on the CPU. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't know, man. Like, I want to not be biased, but for like the Intel marketing or like from years ago, like they really fucking got me. Like, I do not desire AMD hardware. Like they announced the Radeon 6000, the big Navi cards, and I'm
Yeah,
just like,
I agree with that. I still have the i7, and I'm like, but do I really need cause like I want to get like so I'm playing COD like on 100% CPU, and I'm like, shit, this thing I need to get a new one, but I'm like, should
I'm
I?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand the AMD nomenclature. Like the Intel makes a lot more sense. It's like, oh, i7, i9. Okay, so
nah,
i9 is better, right? Like AMD, I never really I
goddamn,
never took the time to
yeah,
like
learn the naming
understand
schemes.
what's better, like all this like RX and RDN and Big
Mhm.
Navi, like none of like all of that stuff is just like I like I
They're doing that
understand
on
like
purpose.
I understand like how my mom feels when I talk to her about technology. Like that's how I feel
Facts.
when AMD is like when
They,
everybody's talking about AMD. Like I don't like I never really like took the time to like be like, all right, what is an i7 equivalent of an AMD CPU? Like that type of stuff. Like I just never really. That's why I just stick with Intel. It's like, oh, i7, i9. There we go. That makes sense.
I mean, and they don't make it easy. Like they got
Lose
the Radeon
billions.
5700, and then they got Vega 56 and 60, and it's like, so what are we doing here? So I mean, I feel
Yeah, I just come on now. Like get better. Like the marketing team, y'all need to do better. Like
That is important.
like this stuff is too in the weeds. Like
yeah, I don't want to have to
I,
fix. No, don't
I
make me
don't
think too
care
hard.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
care enough.
I feel
Look,
some type of way about Intel, just because with the lead they had with processor tech, I just feel like they should be crushing it more, and
oh
they're
man,
They got
not.
complaints. They got
yeah,
that competition is. That's why competition is good
they definitely been
because
resting on their laurels a little bit. I mean, I ain't about to build no
exactly
AMD system, but I'm glad they putting, applying pressure.
putting pressure.
But they're
Exactly.
nowhere in mobile. That's clearly the future. Every mobile chip they've ever made is trash.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know what they're gonna
Like
do to get in there.
they, but they have to figure that out to survive long term.
No, that's facts.
Um, like Apple's going on. I just feel like once Apple goes to ARM and people see like it's not that bad, or it could even be better, at least for Apple.
Hmm. Oh yeah, if they
They're
do it
gonna
well,
have to figure it out. They're gonna have to figure it out, or they're gonna be in major trouble. So I'm like, I just don't want to give Intel the benefit of the doubt because they've just been slacking.
yeah. Nah, if Apple does ARM well, Intel is gonna be in hellified trouble. Like,
Absolutely.
so I mean, we'll
You
see.
won't have to wait too long.
Nah, we won't. We
Shush.
won't. I mean, I'm not gonna buy one of them first gen ARM Apple computers, but I'm gonna check it out. And like I said, I like that they're applying pressure. That's the important part for me because I need Intel to stop bullshitting.
That's the Apple moving
Absolutely.
to Apple.
I need them to stop bullshitting. And then I guess kind of to my point about not building an AMD system, apparently some of their drivers have issues that could like blue screen your computer. Like what are y'all doing?
Mm.
What's
Man,
going on, y'all?
That's a no bueno.
And then talking about
not
if
at
this
all.
happens, restart your computer. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
Uh,
What the
No,
How
fuck?
I'm
about
just gonna
you
keep.
push some
I'm just
code
gonna keep
apps?
letting it be broke.
Yeah, I'ma
No, I
just
like
let
the
that's
it edit.
blue
that's the
I like this
advice I
color.
give to my mom when she has problems with her computer. Like,
screen.
just restart it.
Sorry.
No, I'm just trying to do this for ambiance in the room. I just wanted a nice, cool feel to the room. Oh.
Shit is crazy.
What's up with this GameStop Microsoft deal? What
I don't
what
I
is
don't I don't know what's up. It
I
seems like
don't
it
get
came
it.
out of nowhere to me.
Okay, so
That's
it says GameStop and Microsoft entered a multi-year partnership. The deal makes Microsoft's cloud services the backbone of GameStop's backend and in-store
So they're
solutions.
using Azure
Store
now.
reps. So they're basically just gonna be like glorified Microsoft stores now.
Microsoft
Basically.
about to buy that shit.
And that was
that
Why would they
it's
sounds
want to
that
like
buy
seems
it?
like
Another
welfare.
move. They say, you know what? We got stores
That's
all over the
welfare.
country. We're gonna make this to Microsoft style. Goddamn it.
But it's like
Microsoft
I don't.
stuff.
It's welfare. It's just like,
you
look,
said it's
we yeah, it's like, look,
No,
we
I'm
know
dead.
we just gutted your business because we're not selling no disc anymore out here.
Yep.
But we're gonna throw you a lifeline. But the lifeline involves you actually giving us money
actually,
and
no, it
pay
involves
us
you
for our
dying.
service.
It's like
Yeah,
when
but dying in
Haiti
such
won
a
their
way that we
revolution.
extract more money from you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Haiti
Yeah, it doesn't
revolted
make
against France,
this.
and then France was like, "Yeah, so you owe us about $18 billion." And it's like, what, nigga? I just kicked you out of my
They're trying to
My country.
revive a corpse.
shit.
It's a
Crazy.
Frankensteinian like thing. Like that's
Basically, like, oh yeah,
Uh,
throw some
But
surfaces in there. I think
throw
that'll
some, yeah, yeah.
excite
That's
people.
what y'all need.
What?
Microsoft was
Microsoft
like,
are
you
on
know
a
what?
buying spree anyway.
I
Like they
know
don't
exactly what's
like
missing here. Y'all need more surfaces and more Azure. Boom.
You know what?
mm-hmm.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna make y'all stores into a gaming PC
they
shop.
have
And
more
like,
money than they know to do with, so they
That's
just
the way they
blow it
should
up.
have been to begin with. GameStop should have always branched into PCs.
It's been
facts.
Micro Center, but in the
That's where
mall.
they. That's where they left.
Basically.
That's what they
I
like.
mean, have the key things that we all need: external hard drives, accessible, graphics cards. I'm not saying have a whole solder kit like Micro Center, but just have the basic shit, like the
Yeah.
basic things that we need as PC gamers.
Yeah,
Like
I think
GameStop thought they bet hard on consoles, and that's
They
what failed
lost. It
them.
was a
Like as
terrible
great
bet.
as consoles are, yeah, it was a terrible
Yeah.
bet. Like you have to bet on the whole gaming ecosystem, and like what early I think it was early 2012 they started actually bringing in like nerd stuff into the shops. Like before it was just games,
mhm,
consoles, and that's all you'd be able to get at a GameStop.
mhm.
And
Yep.
then they started bringing in like
They
pops
just
and
yeah.
shirts and
They
tees
turned
and
into
stuff like
KB
that.
Toys.
Figure.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought some socks for them.
So socks are
from
cool.
from
No,
GameStop.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
remember I bought some
but they
socks
shouldn't.
for them.
They shouldn't be Spencer's though. That's not their job.
I
They're
found out though that those socks were
GameStop.
a little bit too small, so I was upset.
Give them to your nephew.
I'm about to. I'm getting them for Christmas.
Hey, there you
You're
go.
gonna.
Repurpose a you know,
Mhm.
purchase.
I was upset because they were cool socks. I could only fit into like a handful of them. I was very upset. I was like, finally, my nerd stuff is getting is growing.
Hmm.
Could wear this to work. Nope.
Um,
So, oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was about to talk about the video game adaptations. The whole Monster Hunter movie. Why
Oh
are they
my
trying
god.
to do a live action? Just make it
I
animated. Like I
just
don't
just
understand.
No.
I like why is animated not good enough?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Like help me
you
to
have no
understand.
limits. You have no limits in animation. Like it's just like I don't understand why they
And
like
and
they ah
So
and
CGI.
why are they making it in real like in the real world like
Making it super high tech.
freaking
There's no
machine guns and
yeah, no
like
fantasy
ships and stuff.
elements.
Like that's not what Monster Hunter is. It's just they just took the Monster Hunter monster. This reeks of what people used to do like back in like the 90s when it was hard to kind of like when the internet was like just starting to actually flourish,
Yeah.
so like
Mm.
you could find a property in another country and just and make a movie about it, and this was all
mhm.
people got to see, so it was like a little more interesting to us because like, oh, Monster Hunter, okay. But now that I mean I've seen the game, I actually play the game, right? I like Monster Hunter, so now I'm looking at this movie where they're shooting them with machine guns. I'm like, that's more
This is
boring
not
than me going charging out there, with the sword, cutting this thing's tail off and building another sword out of the
right.
tail. Like
And then
that's
we already had that movie. We had Starship Troopers. Like, come
Yep,
on now.
that's true.
but that
Like
was more of a comedy.
Starship Troopers was
You
Star Trek.
can't take that movie seriously.
that's of course, but that's I feel like that type of
Uh,
stuff. Like I don't know. I feel like it's always it's that old adage of like the video game industry wanting to be legitimized by making a movie out of their properties. Like, and I feel like we're at a point where it's like, all right, we've been down this road so many times, we've been disappointed so many times, and we know that like you can't take 100+ hour game and try to transform that into a 2 hour movie,
Yeah.
or like a 20-hour game into a 2 hour movie. Like if you're gonna do something like that, you should do like a side story. Like if in the Halo verse, like if they would have done like an ODST movie or something like that, that would have been better than having
they
Master Chief. Like it would have like
they
Master
tried
Chief.
that with
Yeah,
the
like they tried the little show and stuff.
yeah,
But
that
it's
was not
like
good.
just make it animated. Like it's nothing wrong with imagine if they try to make a live action Castlevania, like instead of getting
I
what we
think they're
got on
trying to.
Netflix.
I thought they were
Not
trying to.
interested.
You know that
I
you
hope
know it's
not.
gonna try it. You know they're gonna
I
try
hope
it.
Oh,
not. I hope
no,
not.
Not
It's
no,
no
no.
interested.
point. It's no point.
Not interested.
Terrible.
Well,
Yeah,
Um
because they did. What they did. They said they're gonna do a live action Uncharted. They did Tomb
that
Raider.
makes sense. That makes sense.
but it's
Uncharted and
like
Tomb
but
Raider
that's
makes sense.
that's Indiana Jones. Like who
Oh
Yeah,
wanna
damn.
but
like
at
come
least that
on.
makes sense. I mean, well,
It,
every
it
movie's been done before.
I
If you wanna
know,
go
but
into like
like
archetypes.
Uncharted would be the most boring movie. Like the thing that makes Uncharted good is that it's interactive. Like that, I would not sit through an Uncharted movie. Like that would be so fucking boring.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
So if
That
they
that's
made that like a to DVD type movie, they made it like more interactive. So like
just keep it a video game. Why
yeah,
can't it just exist as a video game?
like I like
Don't
some
make
of the
enough
stories that they
weapons.
did in video games work better than they would as a live action. Like I think they said they were trying to do a God of War movie.
I don't want to see
Yeah,
that.
not interested.
Yeah, just leave it. Just like Sony. I mean, Sony is that they, they have Sony Pictures, so of course, like
Yeah, they
Yeah,
that's
can
an
do what they want to
automatic
do.
thing. Yeah, but
I think they should just leave it to where they try to make live action anime and leave it at that instead of trying to like
That's
some
a terrible
Has
idea.
there
movies.
really been any
Well,
successful
no, there's been
stuff?
good live action anime. Let's get this straight. Now, depending on
Where
who
at?
does
Which
it.
one? Which one?
So
No, AJ not feeling it.
The court
so
would like you to bring evidence to the bench, please,
Yeah,
because
you
your
gotta.
acquisition was wrong.
I need to see some links so I don't.
There have been
I
live action
need
anime that
they
didn't
did
matter.
Haroni Kenshin. That shit was dope. Don't front. And Japanese do better. Don't
It
front.
looked better than anything I've seen an American do with anime, but that's not saying much.
that's
Like
like maybe one step better than the Dragon Ball Z movie.
no.
Like
Okay,
No.
that's
It's
the
leaps
worst
and
Now you
I've
bounds
ever
ahead of
seen.
that.
insulting the blasphemy and bullshit right
It's the second worst movie, Carl. The first worst movie is Avatar: Last Airbender.
We don't talk about that.
I
well, I don't even know what
hate
movie you just
I
spoke
hate the
of.
Dragon
now.
Right.
Ball movie more.
Hey, Kev, when you edit this, bleep that out, because I want people to know I use
Exactly,
it.
just bleep.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
The
JK's.
clips.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
yeah, JK. I mean, I'm not saying there doesn't exist one. I've never seen one personally. They're all garbage to me.
Well, I've seen the Japanese ones where they've done like Karoni Kenshin. They did Gatama. They've done
They've
Bleach.
done Bleach. They did Full Metal
That Bleach
Alchemist.
one was awful. If you're talking about the one that's on Netflix, it was utter garbage. I
Oh,
no.
the
I
one
didn't
on
even watch it.
Netflix.
I looked at the poster and I was like, no, this is not gonna work.
There's
No,
one
look. Until CGI gets so good that you can immediately go from real actor to animated or to a artificial, like, whatever, stunt double human being, right?
oh, was on
That
okay.
then there's no, like, kind of like what they try to do at Gemini Man that barely worked, right? Um like they got it to look like a young Will Smith, but it was obvious that it was not his, like, that it was, see, you can see that it was like computer generated, right? Like, until they can get that down to where it's like perfect. um uh, there's just no, you're losing fantastical elements by trying to ground it in
Yes,
reality. You're losing
yeah,
stuff
exactly.
that makes
exactly,
it good.
exactly.
It's like
Thank you.
less pieces to work with.
Let's
Yeah.
agree that there's more. Unfortunately, there are more bad live actions than there are good.
Nobody ever disagreed with that. We just
Yeah.
we
So
couldn't agree on the
The good
ones you put
ones.
forth
that were
as
good.
good.
Well,
That's
I thought the ones that were good. Well, the Bleach one was good, but I thought the Haroni Kenshin one was pretty good for it.
I
For
thought that was very cool looking. I liked it in clips, but I don't know if I could have watched the whole,
Movie of it.
like, movie of it.
I
Yeah.
watched all three of them. I thought it was good.
So
Um,
before we move on to the topic
I
at hand,
guess for
real
me,
quick.
it's
Oh, my
just
bad.
that it's live action anime movies. I think in my head, it's just some things like like Kristen was saying, some things just work in from the format they work in, and they were never meant to cross over into another format. Some
Hmm.
games work as games. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. The movie was awful. And it was always going to be awful. Even though it's a fantastic idea, it works in a comic book. It works in like a book setting. It's a fantastic story to build off of, but not much there for a movie. Like maybe a TV show, maybe. Like if HBO were to pick it up, maybe
You
some
need
cool
more.
shit might be able to happen with
Movies
there.
have the problem of trying to condense something that's somebody can
Yeah,
spend
exactly.
72 hours into 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
exactly. And
Exactly.
anime is the same thing. Most arcs are built over, 4 to 5 to 12 episode runs. And so it's just condensing it into like an hour and a half. You take away some of the elements that made it as special as it was.
Yeah,
And anime, it's you're limitless. You can't. There's nothing that boxes you in. Like with movies, with actors, there are so many different limits. And so, like
Mhm.
taking an anime into a live action movie, I've never understood it. Besides for a money grab, like I've never understood the actual benefit ever.
There hasn't really been a good one yet, live action, good game movie. There have been some entertaining ones, but there hasn't really been a good one yet.
Um, can we ban this Rand guy for the
yes,
whole like Assassin's Creed comment?
I knew it was
You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. Let me ban
Rubber
him.
band.
It's- We're
coming.
gonna
Hey,
ban him.
let's not
Yo.
ban a loyal watcher who's been here every week pretty much. So
Assassin's Creed is a fantastic story, and you can fight me.
technically,
I can't ban you, but meet me outside though.
yeah, hey, hey, you remind me of
Yeah, Silent Hill movie was actually really.
I think it was good.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
Okay,
Sounds
y'all
like a
go.
horror film.
Yeah, no, I'm not with that. So one thing I do want to touch on
Like a
before
bad
we.
movie.
Silent Hill isn't a horror film.
Oh, okay.
It isn't.
Hmm.
It's not
It
scary.
isn't. You,
I'm
you can watch it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm very, inclined not to believe either of you two
I was about
people
to
on
say
that.
you guys aren't very trustful.
That's not
Right.
like y'all are not a
Chris,
worthy
I
source
don't
of
like how
what's
you've been
scary.
betrayed lately in this in
It
this in
it
this
was,
podcast of ours here.
and it was also the fact that both of you guys agreed with each other. I was like, well,
Yeah, they were
that's
like,
mm,
red flag
that's.
immediately.
Mm-mm.
Hey man,
Always,
I
always,
would have needed a reliable source to agree with one of you guys in order for
I'm
me
always
to
not
agree
saying
with.
the games are perfect, my man. I'm saying the story is perfect. Sorry, our friend in chat here.
Oh, you talking
I
about Assassin's
appreciate
Creed?
it. This games, yes. Well, no,
he said
actually,
you
the
couldn't
first
even
game was
crouch.
flawless.
okay. We couldn't
Right,
crouch.
you couldn't crouch, whatever. First game was flawless. So my little tale when I was playing Assassin's Creed, there's nothing more I wanted to do than sneak up and knife a nigga in the back. I thought it was the best thing. Um, and
That
the
doesn't
I
story is
feel like
just
they've
amazing.
gone way away from that. Like you're not even a. It feels like you're not even an assassin anymore.
No, you're a
It feels like a
Viking.
Yes,
Shadow of Mordor type game now.
yeah.
Mm.
The game's current story, I am very confused in. The middle parts, though, I love. The beginning, middle, I don't know what the fuck's going on with the end, but
Like
they'll get back to where it's
they
supposed to be
tease,
at.
they tease a little hidden blade now. It's like, oh yeah, but you still got the hidden blade.
I
But
Blade,
you're
yeah.
gonna like beat 50 niggas down in the field, and then you're gonna like pull out your blade. It's like, dog, like, are
Assassinated the
you even
one.
an assassin anymore? It's like come on now.
No.
Just beat
I
people
don't
up
know.
in public.
That's yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, we'll
But
come
yeah,
back to it.
Yeah,
We'll put
yeah.
a pin in that.
different.
So kind of one thing that I want to talk about before we move on from the news, I think, is the Star Wars Squadrons. Is like they're like we're not releasing any DLC. There's no additional anything. It's not gonna be a game as a service. Like you paid your money. This is the game. Like we hope y'all can appreciate that. And
I think that's I think it's
That's
like
pretty
it's a
dope.
test. I think it's a test.
yeah,
I think they're trying to see if they're mitigating risk on that one.
and they want to see how people respond. But
Hmm.
I think it can work for some games. Like there's definitely I feel like value in like building a complete game and selling it one time. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's that worked for how many years before like we got into this
Hey,
whole
don't
you
use that
know
logic. So,
I
because that's how
mean
they feel about slavery.
oh yeah, that is
I knew
true.
that's where he was going as
That's
soon as he
true.
said that.
That slavery worked so well for starting America and getting
Yeah, yeah,
jump
you're right.
starting wealth for certain individuals.
Probably need to bring that back.
Very
It
true.
was
I will say I think it will work if so you still release the full game, but you just add elements to it. So like you add like for instance how if Battlefront 2 would have released the full game, and then added like seasonal elements like okay, hey, new Star Wars movies coming out. So here's some new characters we're gonna give y'all for free. You just have to earn it, whatever. I don't know.
I
It's
mean, but then it adds so much. It adds so much like surface area to the game, right? Because you gotta pay people to do that. You gotta pay people to test that, and
Right.
all like
Yeah.
it's a whole mess. You know what
That's
I mean?
that's why they charge for it, right? Because for us it's just like, hey, put more levels on here, right? For them it's like they
Yeah.
gotta
Like they can
hire,
flip a
they
switch.
gotta,
That's more salary.
yeah.
That's fixed
Exactly.
cost right there.
They need to go
So
to the No Man's Sky
shit.
guys and find out how to procedurally generate story,
But I like
because
this though
that's the only useful
because
part of their software.
Yeah.
I feel like if this game wouldn't have came out like towards last generation,
Like
beginning part of this generation, because if you remember, like, I mean, EA is notorious for like killing franchises and shit, right? Especially if they don't.
Anthem.
Well,
It
that
didn't
that
even
was
get
a
to
whole
become a
other.
franchise. It was.
Yeah. Um, but like I feel like I like the fact that like they're they obviously this game was made with a more constrained budget, which is why it's $40. And I feel like as long as they can make money off of like endeavors like this, that's better for us because we get more variety. Instead, if this fails, we're just gonna get more like we're the next. There probably won't be another squadrons, but if they do come back with another squadrons, it's gonna be another game as a service, and
Yep.
that's how a lot of these companies are making like they have like these elaborate plans and designs, and they're trying to go for like this AAA, like, yo, we gotta have the best graphics, we gotta have the best performance,
Yep.
this and that, we gotta have
It's got to
massive
be a
levels, we
blockbuster.
gotta. Yeah, and it's like I like this because it's like, all right, like you could tell like it was like, all right, this is how much we're gonna give you all. We're gonna charge, we're gonna charge $40. That way we can get more volume, because people will view it as like, oh, this is not a
Okay.
$60 game, so they're not expecting, this uh a game as a service where it's like they get this constant drip feed of content. It's just like $40. Here's a game that you can. It's multiplayer, so it is infinite content, but we're not gonna drop new levels and this and that, and like it's just a one-off thing. And I think this is good, because we're gonna get a bigger variety of games. And EA, if you look at like their back catalog, they have a lot of shit that they've just been sitting on over the years. So I think that if folks go out and support these type of games, like we're gonna start getting more, um, smaller scale games that are like $30-$40 that kind of push, the boundary a bit more in terms of gameplay and set pieces, things of that sort. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
no more
And
games as a service. I'm tired of that shit.
And that was Grandpa Crescent's rant for the day, guys.
Basically,
no, he about to start
And
again because we have
He just shake his
kind of
fist at
the
gamers.
studios are doing like a different like we got kind of other side of the coin where we have the Call of Duties that are wanting to sell you content um infinitely or at least until their next release. They're um like right now Call of Duty, NBA 2K, and a couple other games. It's like they want to charge you $10 extra for the game for the next gen to get the next gen
oh, for the
version.
upgrade,
Yep,
yeah.
there's no
yep.
smart delivery, and but then it's like this in this article, the person who wrote it is arguing like, okay, so but is that gonna matter to the people who are buying the games if it's in Game Pass? And
Mm,
I
I think that makes a stronger case for something like Game Pass. Like
I
if
agree.
games are gonna go up in price, I just think it's kind of a no brainer. It's like, oh shit, like I may not be able to play, Uncharted 7 at launch for $70. But I got Game Pass where you can play like, all sorts of stuff, and then like on top of that now, you have Bethesda being, brought into the fold, so you're gonna get all of those titles and stuff. So it just makes a stronger case for something like Game Pass, and I think um you're gonna start seeing that when people are gonna be like $70, like fuck that.
Right. But then it's, I mean, I feel like that it definitely makes it more appealing. Like I'm not.
Then you get the sunken cost fallacy where you're like, now that I have, now that I'm paying 14, $15 a month, I have to play as many games as possible. So you're like, now you're like, you gotta play games now because you got Game Pass.
Not really. I mean, do you feel that way towards like your, Netflix
Mm.
or Hulu and shit like that?
Well, eventually, if I realize I'm not using something, I cancel it. So kinda like if I'm not using, so but I get it because I think I'm gonna use it, and then when I don't have it, I end up canceling it afterwards. Um, but I use those a lot enough for me to feel like okay, if
You're
because
getting your
for different
money's worth.
reasons. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like they're staples. Like I'm like okay, I have it for this, I have that for that. I mean, Amazon Prime just comes with the other Amazon stuff,
Yeah,
right?
nobody
That's
actually like gets
nobody.
Amazon Prime
Yeah, and
Video
I
for
didn't go out of
Amazon
my
Prime
way.
Video. It's just like it comes with Amazon Prime, so it's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's always been there, right? Since since I've had
Free
so I
I mean the shipping, man,
that's what it is. It's the
that's what it
shipping.
is. That's how they get you.
That's how they're
That's the
selling
most.
videos. So so but yeah, so I get the stuff. The only one I haven't been able to cancel is Funimation. That's just because it is very confusing to cancel Funimation. I've tried to do it
Jesus,
and
what?
and so
That
far
is on purpose.
they've gotten months out of me because I'm just like I give up. I'll do this later and then I forget about it and then I remember, oh, I got to
Damn.
cancel Funimation and I go back in and I'm like it's like a maze. Like
They got you trapped in
so
an
They
IKEA
gonna
store.
yeah, it's exactly what it is. I keep making left turns. Like, how do I get out of this place?
They be like
But
shortcut, and you go through
they
there and you
gonna
back in the fucking kitchen. Like, how?
they gonna throw you a bone and give you a phone number, and you call them, and they just gonna put you on hold for like
No
two
bullshit.
days.
yeah, and then I'm just gonna
Like
hang
to
up,
cancel,
and
press 2.
they're
We
gonna say
have
we have
no
the call volume.
representatives right now.
Yeah, they're gonna say the call volume is. It's
We're
people. It's
experiencing
all
increased,
people like me trying to cancel it.
Yeah,
facts.
there are lots of callers today. Please stay on the line.
All right, or they
But
want to
yeah,
put
I
they want
can.
to put you in the callback queue and never call you back.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't ever play. I mean I don't ever really play games, but since I've had Game Pass, I have played more games because of that. And
That's
Mm.
perfect. That's
Absolutely.
working then.
Yeah,
yeah, it's absolutely working. But I'm like,
Absolutely. I've
okay,
played more.
yeah, because Carl was just a Halo person for as long as I've known him, and Guitar
Yes.
Hero,
Yeah.
and so now he's playing like Branch. Carl won in Soul
Like Soul
Calibur
Calibur? Yeah. I
last
was
week.
like, oh,
That's first of all, how did that happen? Second of all, like that's not a
yes.
game he
How
would
did
have
that
played if he
happen?
didn't have Game Pass.
True, very true.
Absolutely
yeah,
would
exactly.
not
Yeah,
have
I wouldn't
played
have picked
that.
that
Yeah,
up.
and I will say
I
in the
played
like
Call of freaking Duty. What a
Yeah.
you
terrible
did.
game that is, and I played it.
It's not that bad once you get used to it, Carl. But see, I don't
Can't
know if it'll
really
be
get
for you.
used
Like
to
I
it in
play a lot of
solo.
objective because like the team
Oh
deathmatch
god.
is
Oh
just
god.
But don't say that. That's like
Oh god.
Answer
that's sacrilege
You
then.
just cursed him out, is what you did.
Yeah, basically.
You
That is
just cursed
so
him
it's
out.
gross. Disgusting.
I mean you still get to kill people, It's just
No,
like
it's not good enough,
it's
bro.
not good
That's
It's
not
enough.
not.
right.
It's not.
It's not the same
It's not.
vibe. Oh
Gosh.
man. All right, so I guess for the topic of the week, we're gonna talk about Twitch and this
Mm.
super unfortunate, very long expose.
Yeah, I stopped halfway through. I was like, okay, I
I'm
get it. They're terrible.
yeah.
Like
I
what do
mean,
you want me to?
I will say I'm under no delusion that Twitch is like, or any of these places really are in any way truly invested in like equity.
It sounds a
And
lot
They
like
don't.
Uber.
Yeah,
they don't care.
it's not.
They
It
want to
is
appear to
not
care.
part of their fabric.
No.
Yeah, it's not part of their fabric, and that's why I'm not like. It's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised. Like I allow all of
Uh,
these big tech companies, like they're hostile environments, just
yep.
because they are.
They're the new
They're white
trader
boys
floors.
clubs. Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly, exactly. That
And
is
it's like,
exactly what it is. It is a hostile environment that you always like as a minority, whether it's person of color or female, like it is just it's
it's not
very
for you.
hard
Yeah.
to yeah, it's not designed for you either. And so
Yeah.
like you said, like it is everything it is like appear to make it seem inclusive and this and that, but it's just all it's all a farce, and
Yeah.
um, it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not.
I was. Yeah, I even just reading through it, I was like, I'm not surprised by this at all.
Nope.
which is
Which is
unfortunate.
sad.
Like that's
Which is
sad in and of itself, but yeah, like I don't think anybody here would be surprised to hear that Twitch is, hostile to like anybody that's not a white man.
Yeah,
But it's still just like we're talking about, we're saying out loud. And yeah, I mean, I hope that I have not read that extremely long article. I got to be honest. Like I read the first couple paragraphs and I was like, okay, I get the gist. Like this is a fucking awful
Oh my
place
goodness.
to be.
Absolutely.
yeah.
I
Um,
was, I thought I had an infinite scroll going on. I was like, this thing gonna ever stop?
I don't.
I was like,
You know
this
the
thing
crazy
is
thing is
infinite.
that that site is, I think it is an infinite scroll actually. Even if you do pass
Dude,
the, I
I've
don't like that. Does anybody else like that?
I
And
hate
I
and
infinite
hate that
scroll. It's
crap.
the
I
do not
that's
hate
take me
that
to the next
crap.
fucking
terrible.
article. I'm just trying to get to the
It's
bottom.
terrible. It's terrible. I don't know who thought that. That is
It
terrible.
they
Excellent
didn't.
way to
They're not.
make money.
I was about to say they're not doing it because
Oh,
they
I know.
want you to enjoy the experience. They're doing it right to get you to read the next article without realizing it.
I'm
Like
not
they're
gonna do
hoping
Yeah.
that.
that that first paragraph of the next article pulls you in,
Yeah,
and now you're two, three articles in. It's that, and it's the cookies things that are annoying me because I go to a lot of sites on my phone, and those cookie things always pop up late on your phone. So you're
yeah.
halfway through the first paragraph, and then boop, now you gotta like
Yeah, and then they
no,
make the little exit button like super small that you can't
No
you
bullshit.
actually can't click on, you can't click on it. You click on an ad on accident. Like
yep.
man,
right.
fuck y'all. Y'all are some assholes, dog. Like seriously.
The
Like
worst.
seriously.
The
Like this
worst.
is but that's the other thing that just in general, like the tech world right now is, I
Yeah.
mean, we're basically putting our best minds to stuff like this, like trying to get you to stay on things longer, trying to get you to uh click just one more article, just
Right.
one more, just kind of get you in that loop. All of our best minds are going to these big tech companies, and that's what they're working on. They're working on things like this and trying to trick people
Yep.
into staying on their platforms and thus selling those impressions to people that are buying ads and things of the sort. So
Yep.
Yeah.
it's just such a, I feel like we're just wasting so much like brain power. We have like so many huge problems that we need to solve as a human race, you know.
Mhm.
And I think like
We touched
more and
on
more,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
every day, more and more every day. I have less confidence that there will be human species on this planet in the next century or so. Like I feel like we're just gonna,
Implode.
yeah, like it is, we're at that point. I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that people aren't like follow like trusting facts anymore is just
It's.
it is scary. It
I
is
feel like we've
scary.
had a
It is one
wave
of the
of.
scariest things to happen.
Yeah. Like it's. I don't know. Like this rebelling against like being
Knowledge.
knowledgeable and knowing
Yeah,
things
knowledge.
and
Yeah,
It's they
valuing
don't see it as
knowing.
a they don't
They
see it as
don't.
a rebellion against knowledge because they just don't trust your facts. They're like, where'd you get that from? Oh, I don't trust that person. So
Dude,
it
Right.
I
doesn't.
cannot.
It has nothing to do with it. Like if you can't, what I'm saying, like it's just like I was talking to Carl one time about like colors, right? We see colors right? But I can't prove that the green that you see looks the same as the green that I see, right? There's no way for me to actually prove that. We just both see the same thing as green, but in our heads, maybe green and red are switched, right? You see
Mhm.
red when I say green, and I see green when you say, but we don't know what it looks like to each other, and that's
Right.
kind of
Yeah,
what they're.
it's an
That's what it
agreement.
is. Right, right, exactly. So we just know that we both agree on this thing is green. We don't actually know what it looks like, and that's the same thing they're doing. So that they need somebody to like they need some source that they can trust that isn't their opposition. And the problem is there is no such thing, right? You can't
No,
get it because the moment
because you
it
view
sides with the
everybody that
opposition,
disagrees. Yeah, exactly. The
right,
moment you
right,
decide
right,
they're the
right.
opposition, at that point they're no longer credible to you, and it's like it's it's just insane because it's like on one hand, there's like things that are objectively true that are proven and known, and you're just like no. But I'm like,
Yeah,
but you can't just say no. That's not a. But it like none of it matters. It's none of it is based in anything that makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and what was I gonna say? There was something else. Oh, about the selling people's attention and stuff for massive profit. I feel like we touched on that when we were talking about the social dilemma, and I was
mm,
mentioning how back when I had dreams of being a black founder, there's a lot of books that people suggest, and like one of them is this book basically about how to get people addicted to your software.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm. What
and
was it called?
it's I don't know if I can trust you with that information though. Nah, I will have to look it up.
I think I know what you're talking about, though. I think I know what you're talking about.
And
I
it's
think
like
I have it
yeah,
on Audible. I haven't listened to it yet, though.
there's a slightly more ethical one about what I'm saying, habits and how to
Neurolinguistic
get people.
programming books.
You said what?
They're all neurolinguistic programming
Yeah,
books. Like they're,
yeah,
they're like okay, how to train habits and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so but yeah,
That's
it's really I don't know. It's real like gross, I guess, to me.
What
Just like why do you?
what's the what's the inflection point though, right? Because like I think we've all seen those mom and pop websites that are absolutely horrendous. You feel
Mhm.
accosted just looking at it, right? And then there's people that's studying neuroscience to actually get you addicted, making the icon the right color, getting the design
Yep.
just right.
Giving you the
What's
right feedback when you
what's
interact
like
with an element.
Mhm.
exactly like what's the right spot on the continuum to be like, okay, it's pleasing enough that I can use it and it's useful to me, but I'm not going to be addicted to this, or I'm not going to develop some sort of dependency.
I feel like when you start out on that side, when you start out saying, I want to make this usable and I want to make it pleasing to use, versus like, I want as many people to stay on here as long as possible. Like, I feel like those are two, like, I feel like that right there is the key to make it something that people want to use, people can use, um, is a very, that's a good goal to have for your website, for your app. But I mean, the problem is that selling people's attention is very fucking profitable, and
yeah,
people like
that's
Absolutely.
money.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
it's really based on your whole business model.
yep.
If the business model is selling attention, then that's that's what you're gonna optimize for. You
Yep.
know.
So I'm gonna circle back to the topic of the week real quick. Where we were talking about Twitch's terrible culture, because like that's part of the reason why like Blerdimension exists. Like it's I mean it's hard to be black in a white supremacist world. It's hard to be um a nerd and weird in a world that no, like certain norms exist and you're expected to conform, or you end up on the fringes. Like Preston was saying about like you start realizing how other people perceive you, and then you want to fall in line so that you can get what I'm saying, the things that you want out of interactions with other people. Um And so, like, yeah, this is the when you look at the landscape for um people who do what we're doing, talking about gaming, talking about tech, talking about, or even like being in the jobs that some of us have, like it's inordinately white and male.
Hmm.
And it's like, so, but like a big part of the reason that we're here, we want a space that's safe for all black people to come and, like, be nerds, to engage in your niche, interests. And we want to build community to that effect. That is, like, this type of terrible, awful shit that happens to people at big tech companies is the exact reason why we're here doing what we're doing. And I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate because, like Maurice is saying in the chat, like, people been fighting over, fighting the same kind of stuff over a millennium. When I was watching, hey, somebody get your man. This man Maurice said, "How come there's no Sony or Nintendo fans on Blerdimension?"
Doug, I
Uh,
like Sony. I just don't think that they're the. I like both. I like Sony
Yeah,
and Nintendo,
exactly.
but I just
I
don't
do
think that
too.
they're
Maurice,
the
even though we
fucking.
disagree with the Assassin's Creed, I am a Sony fan. My PlayStation still gets used almost daily.
And
Not
Yeah,
as much
like
as my Xbox does daily,
yeah,
but
it's
I
just
still believe in the PlayStation way.
yeah. I mean, we were raised on PlayStation. I think all of us really were. And it's nothing like PlayStation will always have that, you know, place in my heart. Uh, but it's just like there's just not like people just be sicing the shit out of Sony and Nintendo. That's the shit that it just annoys me. I'm just like, dog, they're not that. I don't know. Like those. That's a whole other topic. But all of
Mm.
these goddamn Sony exclusives, um, like all of them are. I don't know. I feel like
Well,
all of them are trying to be like movies, and
I mean,
like they balance. Like Last of Us Two, they actually did balance good gameplay with like
cinematography.
cinematography and stuff. But it's like, dog, like I'm here to play video games. Like, come on now. Like we understand. Like we see, we get it. We get it. Like games can be like movies. Okay, who cares? But like, let's keep it a video game. Like, come on now. Like, it's that. I'm just. That's the shit that's just annoying.
See,
It's just like, dog.
you
Like,
can
it's just.
see it.
You said
Uh,
what?
like I said, you can see it. Creston doesn't hate Sony. He loves it so much. He's critiquing it, and he wants
there
it to
you
go
go.
back to its
Let's
roots.
just get back to the silly games. Like, come on now. Like, which is why I'm excited about like Ratchet and Clank coming right back out because that's like cool. Like, we're getting away from that.
Hmm.
Oh, this is serious. Oh, I gotta walk down this hallway. Oh, look at these walk animations. Oh, look when she gets close to the wall, she actually touches the wall. And it's like, come on now. Like,
Worried
these are
about
video
the.
games. God damn it, these are video games.
Mm.
Keep it at that. That's my rant for tonight. I'm
Oh
done.
shit.
That's your
If
second rant for the
that's your
night. But
third
Yeah.
rant.
if
oh,
Ah,
third
if
Yeah.
or
Halo
three.
was on PlayStation, I'd probably be on PlayStation. But
I feel
they
like
made the
that's.
wrong choice.
what'd you
Let
say?
it.
If Halo was on PlayStation.
I'd have a PlayStation right now. But
I
they
mean,
made
that
the
would be a
wrong
compelling
decision.
case.
They should have scooped up Bungie way back when.
Mm. True.
Mm.
True. All right. Well, um, that's it for the podcast for tonight. Thank y'all again for joining us. Definitely let us know what you think about the discussions today, or if there's something you haven't seen us talk about that you want us to cover. Follow us at Blur Dimension everywhere, namely here and on YouTube. We release clips every Saturday, and we record this live every Thursday. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can know when we got new content for you. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We're gonna take a brief intermission, and then we're gonna switch over to Soul Calibur, and we might play some Halo. So stay tuned for that, man.
Happy belated
Oh,
birthday,
y'all play
FAMU.
Soul Calibur. I'm gonna play Call of Duty.
Well, damn. Just fuck us.
Wow,
Be a team player, JK.
Well,
Love it.
because every time I tried to play it, shit fucked up. So I was
Look,
like, what?
Tech has an
No.
S2. He's gonna
Yeah,
he's
we
gonna
about
he's
to-
gonna
Yeah.
help balance out the
I'm
system.
gonna do the
We're all
host.
gonna be reduced
JK,
to
play with
the
us.
S level.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
Yeah,
that-
Where's
we're
my
all coming
controller?
down to the level of the plebeians. So that
Yo,
And don't act like you had the Xbox.
I've had an X my entire life. I don't know what you're
That's a
talking
damn
about.
lie. Your shit
man
blew up.
said
That's
my
why you got
entire
you switched
life.
to X.
I have one. I don't even remember my life without an X. That's how long I've had an X. So
Not
yeah.
entire life.
Okay,
All right, let me see.
you got an X after your shit blew up, basically.
I know
Wow.
what you're talking about.
You have the
Damn.
memory of
I'll be right
Dory.
back.
And you know I'm right.
God damn it.
Okay.
All right.
So
Let
fuck.
me switch over to the Xbox.
Can't believe this.
God damn it.
It's probably gonna be 2021 before I get a freaking series.
Everybody was talking about they were gonna get a series in 2021, and then now they're like, I can't get one till 2021.
No, because
What?
people.
You weren't able to pre-order?
Shit.
No, I was not.
I
able to
pre-ordered through
pre-order
Costco today.
Today.
Yeah, you didn't get that link.
Carl
Talk
never be
about
in
it. I don't want to talk about it. I didn't get it.
I put the
Fuck
link inside of.
you.
I put the link inside of what's the
Perry.
name?
Perry. Damn it. Perry.
Tech. I was watching
Look
you
at
play
it.
games in your glasses
Absolutely.
for like the past
All
I
half.
still
blue
did.
light.
I was like, oh,
I
this
ain't even
man.
gonna lie. I have
Uh,
not been here with you guys. I have been playing Soul Calibur all day, and I have
Oh,
fallen in love
absolutely.
with the game as a
We
whole.
can see it in your
Like,
eyes. Like your
it
glasses
has
are literally
been
reflecting the game. I was like, Tech is
like
playing games or watching anime right now. He's doing one or the other.
I have been playing online Soul Calibur, and these motherfuckers are ridiculous.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself. No, play with your
Yeah.
friends. We're all pretty much around the same level.
Exactly. You're just gonna definitely